Right. We're live. What's going on? We're back with another fun panel, and I think tonight is going to be very fun. We have a great selection here tonight, and I think you're going to enjoy them. Let's go over some announcements before we get into today's discussion. So first off, if you want to ask a question to myself or to the group here, you can do a super chat, or if you want to leave a comment. If you do a super chat, 100% of all the super chats will be read tonight. Now, I know we're going to have a lot of people here, a lot of people commenting. I will do my best at my discretion to answer some questions, to talk to some people. On Monday, we didn't do too much of it. I will do my best tonight, but 100%, if you do a super chat, it will be on the screen. I will read it, even if it is mean, but you know, try to be nice, but we'll do our best. Other announcements, coaching, guys, this is so fun. I'm just launching the boot camp. What is the boot camp? This is a 3-day with a coach, one-on-one. So this means that we can have a coach fly to you in any city in the United States or Canada, potentially even Europe or Australia. We will fly a coach out to you to work with you on what? To be approaching women, to learning how to flirt, to learning how to get numbers, how to escalate. We'll also work with you on your dating profile. You're going to have a coach there with you for 48 hours straight from Friday afternoon all the way to Sunday afternoon, working on everything together. And you're going to be able to go out and be approaching women during the day. At night, probably approach at least 50, 60, 70 women. So you understand how to get their numbers, how to build attraction. You're going to see demos being done by the coach. So this is something that we're doing really for the next few months at least. I'm sure we'll continue to do it. But right now is going to be the time when you can really get in one-on-one. Eventually, when more people hear about this, we'll do more group stuff. But if you want to get that one-on-one time in, now is the time. So go to tripadvicecoaching.com. I'm going to put that here on the screen. And it's pretty amazing. Every single week, I'm talking to my team, and I'm hearing incredible testimonials. So I'm going to show those to you right now so you can get an idea of the kind of results that people get when they do coaching. So this is not just for bootcamp coaching, but I also have virtual coaching. So people who end up with a coach, we can do it with you over 2 to 3 months virtually. And you can work on everything from your online dating profile to getting more matches, holding you accountable to be going out, talking to more women, getting more dates. So I'll show you right here. Look at this. So we're not going to go over all these, but just so you get an idea of the different types of guys that we help. So this is Sunil right here. Is it showing up on the screen? Yep. Yeah. Cool. So this is Sunil. He says, my dating has improved 15 times better. I'm getting a lot of matches now. Every week I'm seeing 2 new women. Sunil, 30 years old. This is Billy, 21. I'm now confident when talking to women. I can control the conversation. I feel more positive about everything. This is Bradley, 27. I took a girl home and slept with her. I did that the first week after completing the course. Took one home from the bar, a few from online, and an awesome one I met on a plane. Come on. This is incredible. Guys, we are here to get you results. We are here to actually make a difference in your dating life. That's the whole thing. I've been doing this for 12 years now. I have the best coaches on staff that know what the fuck they are doing. So if you work with us, you will be getting the same results or better than the guys you see here. If you do a boot camp with us, you will get the same results or better than you see here. My coaches care. We care. We know what we're doing. So what you can do is go to tripadvicecoaching.com. When you go there, you will see that you can watch a quick video, learn a little bit about coaching, and then you can see you can book a call with my team. The call is 100% free. So that means all you got to do is just set a time. We have times available almost like every hour of the day for the next 48 hours. And when you book a call with my team, you're going to learn everything about coaching, and you can see if it's a good fit for you. So tripadvicecoaching.com. All right. What's up, Scotty? Good to see you here, man. Sean, someone said, woo, it's Torsha. Look at that. She's famous over here. We have some other famous people too here tonight. We're going to introduce those people in just a bit. So tripadvicecoaching.com, book a call with my team, learn about coaching, learn how it can help you. And I think, is that all the announcements? I think that's all the announcements. So those of you who just stepped in, again, if you do a super chat tonight, I will read it here, whatever you want to say, any questions, comments, and we'll do our best to talk to as many people as we can. So I think it's time to introduce this absolutely beautiful panel tonight. So what we'll do is we'll go around the table. We'll start to my left with the famous Torsha, and we'll do your name, which of course we already know hers, age, what do you do, relationship status, and a fun question here. Why did you want to come on the show? Okay, Torsha, take it away.
My name's Torrie, and I go by Torsha. I'm 28 years old, and what do? I also make content on YouTube. I talk about relationships, dating, and just social issues in general. Relationship status, I'm talking to someone. Does that count?
Oh, you're talking to someone?
Yeah.
Okay, so
you're gonna make me blush.
Is this
I'm like, oh no.
Is this a situationship? Is this what the kids call the situationship?
An LDR. It's an LDR.
It's a long distance relationship.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
You know those are the worst.
I think they're actually going to be the new thing moving forward.
I mean, they are the new thing because people are now connecting with each other all over the world because of the internet, and they're getting into these so-called relationships.
Yeah, I think because like globalization or whatever and Instagram, it's going to be a bigger thing. People are going to connect with people a lot further away than
I think
usual.
that's absolutely terrible.
That's fine.
You are a friend and a colleague. Even if you weren't, I guess I would tell you the truth.
Such a dick.
This is, it's not good.
It's not good. Why?
Why do you think I'm saying it's not good to be in a long distance relationship? Also, hold on. Tell everyone how far away this guy is.
The Netherlands.
He's in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We're in the same industry.
He's like on another planet.
You think so?
He's in the Netherlands.
Someone go get him. Tell him to come in the chat right now.
Is he watching?
He probably will be at like 9.
Okay, well, he's not going to like that I'm saying that, but
yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing. Long distance relationships, they're fine if you end up in the same place.
That's the goal.
Okay, so is that the goal?
Yeah.
Like soon?
Yeah.
Okay. This is getting a little better.
Yeah, thank you.
So soon like a month or soon like a couple years?
In a month, we're going to meet up, and then probably around February when he comes here, we're going to try to finalize. Wait,
hold on.
something.
Have you ever met him in real life?
No.
I guess, okay. This is like, I remember when I was on AOL when I was 13. Does everyone know what AOL is? Okay, good.
Yeah. Here we
and
go.
I had like an internet girlfriend.
Loser.
Yeah, loser. I had an internet girlfriend.
Whatever.
Yeah, well,
it's different when you're a grown adult.
That was. This is what this sounds like.
Okay.
Like,
I'm not.
like
I'm not here to convince you of anything.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, okay. All right. So, and why did you want to come on the show?
You asked me to. I'm like, I'll do him a favor. I'm his friend.
Well, you also drove an hour and a half, so
2.5 hours.
2.5 hours. Wait, really? 2.5?
Yeah, it was like 2 hours and 40 minutes. Just to be roasted right as it starts,
well,
bastard.
I'm glad that you're meeting up with him.
Yeah.
But, all right. So.
Probably going to get married in like 6 months. That's the goal.
Are you serious?
I'm dead ass.
Really?
Yeah.
You have never met him in person and you think that you're going to marry him?
Yeah, for sure.
What if there's no sexual chemistry?
Oh, there is. Well, you know I don't talk about that on camera.
Well, you don't have to. So
I'll roast you.
So how do you FaceTime?
What do you think it is? Just like pen pals? Can you hear me? Sorry.
Wait, what's up?
What's that?
Okay, cool.
God damn.
I wish you the best with this. Why did you come on the show?
Because I love you and I wanted to do you a favor. No, because I love when I see new podcasters doing like panel shows and stuff. In Chicago, represent, baby. This is where it should be.
I don't know how many people are doing any kind of panel shows.
Yeah,
in
no,
Chicago.
it's all in Miami and fucking LA and shit. Chicago's where it's at. I think it's the most realistic out of all of them.
Right. Represent.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, Torrie.
You're welcome.
Let's move on over here.
Hi, I'm Ellie Waters. I just moved to Chicago. I'm 24. I also do social media, and I'm here because I'm always ready to throw down about relationship advice.
Okay. And relationship status.
Single.
You said that so softly.
Yeah,
Ready
you're
to
so
mingle.
soft right now.
Single.
Love it.
Okay. And you said you do social media. What does that mean?
TikTok mainly.
TikTok. Yes. Ellie has almost 1 million followers on TikTok.
Oh.
What's the exact number?
I truly don't know.
954.
970 something.
Oh, shit.
970 something. Wow. How long have you been doing that for?
Started during COVID.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
A while.
Do you put one out every day?
No, I just will like go on long hiatuses and just live for a while. I'll just disappear and come back when I'm ready.
Why do you think people follow you? Like you've built, that's a lot. Like almost 1 million is a lot. Like, why do you think people like your content? Because not only do you have a lot, but I looked at your videos and, you know, you see some people who have like 1 million subscribers or 1 million followers. And then you look at their views and it's like 3,000, 10,000. All of yours are like 50,000, a couple million. So people really like what you have to say.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just something different. I think people like that it's a little bit out of the ordinary and just someone to keep it real with them.
Keeping it real. And you talk a lot about relationships too.
I do.
And dating.
I do.
Okay. Very cool. So you're making money from TikTok? Like they're
I
paying
do.
you?
Not, I mean, TikTok doesn't pay a lot directly, but it's
No,
really like once you sign with an agency, they pitch you.
Okay. So brand deals.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. All right. Let's move over here.
I already forgot half the questions, but
Okay. I'll remind you. Don't.
okay.
Your name, age, what do you do, relationship status?
Yes, I'm Stori. I'm from Chicago. I'm 29. I'm in IT and engineering sales, and I'm very single. And I came on the show because I got a DM and very intrigued by podcasting. So here I am.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah, you said you're 29.
Yes.
Happy birthday, 30. When you 30?
July 10th.
July 10th.
Yeah, it's coming up quick. I'm nervous.
Why are you nervous?
Dirty 30. It's a big number.
Why?
I just feel like it's like such a hump in your life that like a lot can either like a lot can change, but everyone says once you're in your 30s, it's a lot better. So, I mean, we'll see what happens.
Is it scary as a woman to turn 30?
I think so, yes. For me, it's more just like career-wise, like that type of thing. But I feel like a lot of people, it's age-wise. But yeah.
Okay. For the
We'll
other
see.
ladies here, is 30 like, well, 30 is around the corner for you.
Yeah.
You got a little ways, Ellie.
Mhm.
Does that number scare you at all? Does it getting older scare you as a woman?
I already feel old.
Really?
I'm like an 80-year-old woman trapped inside of
Yeah.
a 24-year-old's body. No, I don't think it really feels old because a lot of my friends are older. So
Okay. Why do you feel like such an old soul?
I don't know. I've just always been a very old soul. I've always had a lot of wisdom in the way that I don't know. I feel like just the way that I move.
Okay. Yeah, your whole
live.
TikTok is all lots of wonderful wisdom. I can't wait to get into that tonight. Okay, let's move over here. We have a gentleman here.
First one.
Yes, the first
We
one.
found a boy.
I found a
A
man,
man's.
Torrie.
Whose man's is this?
Okay, go ahead. Name, age, what do you do, relationship status, why'd you come on the show?
Sure. My name is Ali. I'm 34 years old, and I sell antique and modern rugs and also services like restoration and cleaning of them as well. And the reason, I'm single. And the reason I'm on here is that, long story short, I won a contest on Tripp's Instagram for his content. And then I saw that he was in Chicago. I just reached out to him and he said, listen, I'm busy. Fortunately, I don't think I can make time and all that stuff. So what happened was that, out of happenstance, I train at the Muay Thai gym downstairs. And I noticed that, you were working with Chicago Podcast Studio here in the same building. And after training, I was just checking my Instagram stories and I saw that you're here doing a live podcast 2 days ago. And I thought, hey, I'll just stick around. And, I came and met you and you invited me to the show. So that's why I'm here.
That's pretty cool, right? I mean, it was so surreal seeing you outside on Monday of the studio. I was like, wait, what is that? Like, I knew who you were before you even said who you were. And the fact that you won the contest and you were here, it's like, it all makes sense. It's meant to be. And this guy here, Ali, he's a mensch. He came and he brought me a gift, one of his beautiful rugs. And he also brought the guys over here, Tom and Colton of Chicago Podcast Studio, a what I assume is a delicious scotch or bourbon.
Bourbon.
Okay, they like it. So very cool, man. It always says a lot when someone offers value, for just because. So the fact that you did that was just really cool.
Well, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, and not a lot of people do that, right? But you thought to do that, and that was great. So cool, great panel. We're all ready. What are we talking about today? We're talking about a big question that I have because I've been doing research, reading some articles, reading some studies. And so I've read some stuff that have said that there are more women single today than really ever. So I'm going to read something here from an article. Nearly 118 million Americans, or about 46% of those over 18 years old, are single, according to the U.S. Census Bureau. But that percent is actually much higher for women. A record-breaking 52% of them are unmarried or separated as of 2021, according to a recent report from Wells Fargo Economics. Okay, so we have that. And also, I've been reading this very interesting and scientific paper here called The Paradox of Declining Female Happiness, which says that women are actually more unhappy today than they were in the 70s, even though they have more rights, they have more opportunities. I'll quote here from the study, which, by the way, I know everyone's always very interested, like when there's a study like this, what do women say? Oh, okay, but who was it done by? A bunch of men? No, it was actually done by Betsy Stevenson, a female, and her, I guess, partner here, Justin Wolfers. So it was not just a study done by men. And it says here, relative declines in female happiness have eroded a gender gap in happiness in which women in the 1970s typically reported higher subjective well-being than did men. So seems like women are getting less happy. More women today and men are single. And so there's a lot of questions that can come from this. But one of them is, are modern women's standards too high? So that's the big question here. I'm going to go around the panel. We're going to answer that question. But before we go into that, I just want to hear from each of you. Torsha, we'll start with you. What are your standards for dating? So the question is like, what kind of person are you looking for?
Are you talking just like attraction or like arousal too?
We're
doing both.
Let's go all the above.
So I look for a guy that is really independent. That's kind of typical answer that women give, but confident, independent. That can look like having your own career. That could be, it's having your own career, but whether it's your dad's company or it's something that you love to do, just you have your own thing going on, like first and foremost. And then I guess how generous you are. Are you
like Ali?
Exactly.
Ali was very generous today.
So like, is he classy? Does he bring a gift for like certain occasions? That's kind of what that looks like too. But, and then arousal part, that one I'm still like learning. That one's like really hard to understand, especially when there's so much that goes into woman's attraction. But I guess I noticed forearms physically, like physicality, forearms, back. Height isn't the biggest thing for me, but I guess this guy's tall. So I know you're going to ask me his height. So apparently he's tall. I don't know.
It's funny.
Guys shorter than me.
I hear women say that though, not really into height, But the guy I'm with
Right.
happens to be pretty tall.
If you looked at my track record, though, like I've dated one guy that was shorter than me. He was a jockey, so he made really good money. He was really well known in like the town and stuff. That's somebody that rides the horses that you bet on.
How tall was he?
5'2".
Wow.
Yeah.
And what are you? 5'?
5'4". 5'4". I
Okay.
have really long arms though, so I look like way fucking taller.
How
and
was it dating a guy who was 2 inches shorter than you?
it was fine. I mean, yeah, I didn't realize I like would love to give advice. Like, what is a guy that's like shorter that feels insecure about it? What can he do? And I remember there were certain things like he would make himself a lot bigger, whether that's like jumping on a counter. I don't know. But I remember there were moments where I was like, oh shit, like I can't say anything because he's pissed. But that was a while ago. That was like in my peak. It was like 22, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Yeah. So
What
it's about-
happened to the relationship?
Oh God. So yeah, I don't know how to word that one because I know a lot of times we have a tendency
Careful
to,
of the taps.
yeah, sorry, we have a tendency to not take responsibility. Is that what I hear all the time?
Well, it depends. You're being cryptic. What happened?
No, I like really can't talk about it. I can tell
Something
you,
bad?
yeah, like criminal.
Oh,
Yeah.
Literally
Yeah, like
criminal.
actually criminal.
On his end?
His end with
That
Another
had to do
woman.
with you? Oh,
not me. Yeah.
okay.
Um,
Grapes?
worse in my opinion.
Worse?
Than that. Like beating the shit out of. It wasn't
Damn.
me, but like
And so then you had to break up with him.
that's how I knew he was cheating. Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah. But
And you were like, F you, you're 5'2" anyway.
no.
You kept it classy. Okay.
I wouldn't say like classy, but yeah.
When's the last time you talked to him?
Oh God. I've never rekindled with an ex. I don't talk to them after, but it had to be when I was 22.
We should talk about that. That's a
Yeah.
good question too. Exes. I'm very curious. People. Okay, but let's stick to the topic. So,
So what were you saying before?
I want to keep going
Forearms.
around.
Yeah.
Forearms. Oh yeah. No. Any other arousal?
I
It's funny that you say that. I never use that word. Like,
Really? I think I'm autistic. Like honestly.
Oh my god.
do you actually think you're autistic?
Yeah.
You might be a little on the
I'm sorry
spectrum.
that
yeah,
got me.
yeah, I think so for
Yeah.
sure.
Okay.
It
At least
could
you
be.
can admit that.
Yeah. I try to be like really understanding exactly like what's what.
Careful.
I know. Sorry. But I was gonna say though, also when
Or Asperger's. I don't really know the difference.
shut up. No.
What?
It's not in the
I can't.
DSM anymore. It's all spectrum.
Oh.
Shout
so
out
wait,
to
so,
my-
so that wasn't PC?
That was kind of rude.
Oh, it was rude.
Like for and I know I have viewers
Oh, that
are on
was
the
like
spectrum.
derogatory.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I would think calling someone autistic or Asperger's, because Asperger's
Well,
is a
it's-
real thing. That's not.
Right, but you're saying that one's better than the other.
Oh, I don't really
Here,
know.
I'll give you a little hashtag NAMI, National Alliance of Mental
Oh
Illness.
boy, we're
If
getting
you're gonna-
canceled already.
No. But autism's on a
Sean
spectrum.
said Tori being autistic is why I love her.
Thank you.
How
Thank you.
sweet! How sweet is
Thank you.
that?
Yeah, you want to know like verbatim what I go for. I'm trying to give it to them.
Okay, this
He's
is
giant
great.
over here. But yeah, no, if you're ever talking about autism, it's a spectrum. If you use Asperger's, that's a way, it's like saying it's better to have that type of autism because it's the really intelligent, really well spoken. So if you say that, it's kind of derogatory in that way.
Oh, interesting. Well, I
Yeah.
think both
So they took it
are different and are. I don't know much about them.
Yeah.
I know
Well, now you know.
it's not good. Okay, so
Son.
I'm teasing. All right, let's go to Ellie.
Yeah.
What are the what's your standards for dating? What kind of guy are you looking for?
Established, of course, a gentleman. I like somebody who pursues me. I feel like that's something that has lacked a little bit in this the recent years of dating.
How do you mean?
I feel like men like to be pursued.
Mm-hmm.
You feel like men like to be pursued.
Yeah.
What makes you think that? Where did you get that from?
Experience, and I feel like I hear that a lot also from women. And women as a whole, from what I've heard, are really yearning for men to go back to very old school pursuits of women and going on dates and flowers and like the most basic type of pursuit has just lacked so heavily in this generation.
Do you think women are traditional though? Do you think
Not everybody. No.
I almost feel like to say a guy should be traditionally masculine would be kind of like putting them, like enforcing gender roles on them. You know
I
what
personally am okay with that. Like
Yeah.
if you make the money, like I'm going to sit at home and take
Okay.
care of your kid and like make sure everything's okay and clean the house and
Yeah.
do everything. I'm okay with that to an extent. Like I'm still going to do everything that I have to do and want to do.
Yeah.
I think it's just balance. But me personally, I want to be taken care of. I want to go on dates. I'd rather have a phone call than a text.
Yeah.
I like to spend in-person time rather
You'll
than
answer a phone
FaceTime.
call.
100%, but I won't answer a text.
If it's for the person that you want.
Well, okay. Well, interesting.
Yeah. But that's just like the general gist.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about looks wise? I'm curious what your type is.
I don't really have a type. Truly, I would say I'm attracted to a lot of different types of people. It's very personality based, as a lot of women would also
Yeah.
say.
So
Prior,
5'2" is cool.
I would say I date professional athletes, very tall, very big men.
Yeah.
You said prior.
My last 3 relationships were professional athletes.
Okay. Is that what you want
Yeah.
next?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Over here. What about you, Stori?
I can actually relate to a lot of the things she was saying, just how I feel like so many girls these days are having to be like more masculine, like in their masculine energy, and I don't know, make things happen. Guys want to be chased. They're very much like, oh, you can't text me first. You can't make plans. Oh, how about we split this? It's like, I want to go back to traditional ways as well, where I can be in my feminine energy and just kind of like take a seat and feel taken care of. It's like a lot of men are just wanting equal parts, whereas I feel like females can't really be feminine. So that's what I'm looking for too, is to be like in my feminine energy, kind of be taken care of, open the door for me, pull out my chair for me, bring me flowers. And those sound like so little, but that doesn't happen anymore.
No way. It
Yeah,
doesn't.
it doesn't happen.
You both said that. I'm just
Yeah.
like, what?
It really doesn't. I mean, of course, you can't like say that no guys do that, but
Right.
in my experience, I haven't seen that even with my friends or people I've talked to in like
Yeah.
the longest time.
Oh,
So I'm basically just looking for someone who could.
that's like the bare minimum.
It is.
This
It really is.
What's interesting is I don't know this experience. Like
Yeah.
I'm actually a little shocked that both of you have said
Yeah.
that you're running into guys who want the more feminine approach. They want to be chased.
Mhm.
I mean, I think some guys may say like it would be nice,
Yeah.
but I've never heard guys say like, oh, I want everything to be 50-50. I want it to be where she chases me and I don't have to do any of the work.
I think there's a little bit, I'll kind of add on to that. I'm totally okay with spoiling my man. Like
Yeah.
I will pay for
Mhm.
dinner. Like I will take you out. I will drip you out, buy you stuff. I'm cool with that. You know, like I've got it on my own. You got it on your own. Like it goes both ways. I just think from the jump baseline, I need a gentleman. And I don't think that will ever waver for me. And like she said, it's not to say that nobody is like that. For me personally, I think the reason that it has come to that in certain circumstances is I hear a lot, well, you have quote unquote hoes, you have all these men. Like I need to know that like I'm the one that like you want to be with and not all these other guys, because it's so easy to find people now. It's so easy access to talk to other men or to have other men or you know, maintain those relationships. And it's so easy to get the attention of men now that men are almost kind of double back and like, well, if you're not all for me, then I'm not going to be all for you. Like, you know, I need to know first that you're all for me. So call me, text me, like show me that you want me.
Are the athletes doing that too?
Yeah, that's really all I date. But again, that's what I'm saying.
I
I'm sure there's
believe
a lot
you,
of men
yeah.
that don't, you know?
Yeah,
Mhm.
I believe you.
I feel like men of status too, like she probably experiences, they're
A little
wanted,
closer to the mic.
they're wanted so much more that they probably act worse in a sense because they know
Yeah,
they can get a
probably.
lot of girls. So they think that they deserve more when they should be chasing the girls.
But they also have the money where they could like fly you out and stuff. So I could see them.
That
being,
doesn't mean
like-
anything though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I agree. But I'm just saying like
They do. I
have
mean,
a
they would
little
fly
bit-
you out every day.
Yeah.
It's just like
Yeah.
there has to be more for me. Like
Exactly.
send flowers to me, or
Yeah.
like you know, there just
The
has
little
to be more.
stuff.
Call me,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
literally, just call me.
Yeah.
You know,
Like, just be a
Ask
good
how much-
person.
Yeah, just do the bare minimum. I
Yeah.
feel like the bare minimum has like really shifted around
That's wild.
How are you meeting these guys?
through mutual friends, even through like exes or
DMs?
Yeah,
Wait,
for
through
sure.
exes? That's wild.
I mean, when you get to know the team, or you get to know,
Oh,
you go on
yeah.
like
That
big
makes
trips
sense.
with all their friends and their friends' friends and all their
Yeah.
girlfriends, you know, like you meet a lot of people that way too. Bars,
Instagram?
clubs, everyone's like in the same
Yeah,
sections
Instagram.
at concerts and clubs,
Yeah.
and
That's
everyone
true.
gets introduced that way,
Yeah,
you know?
I used to
Yeah.
work in nightclubs. That's true.
Just people that you know, I'd say. Like
Yeah.
mutual friends for the most part.
Do
Mhm.
the athletes Insta DM you? I feel like they would.
What do they say? What's their opener?
I don't think there's a specific opener. I
Hey,
think it's just
I
pretty
think
basic.
they all say hey.
WYD.
It'll be like, do
WYD.
you have any good
You
spots
up.
in Chicago, or like, I don't know.
Oh, that's good.
There's I don't think there's a specific.
yeah.
So, what kind of value are you offering a guy like that who obviously has a lot of value if they're an athlete? And let's say they're doing all the things that you want them to do. How are you reciprocating the value?
I think it's important to point out, first of all, like materialistic things to them are not going to be a factor in this, because they can
Oh, that's
have
for
whatever
sure.
they want whenever they
Sure.
want it, right? I think it's important to, as a woman, to know how to hold shit down, mentally, emotionally. You have to be able to put yourself to the side and put them first so that they can perform.
What
That's
is
a
that?
big one.
What does that look like?
That is a big one.
I mean, I grew up around it. My dad's a coach. My brother played ball in
Yeah.
college. Like that's why I'm attracted to this type of, initially, like that's why my attraction goes to athletes, is because I grew up around it. Not because I'm out here cleat chasing. It's just what I grew up around. It's what I know. I think that just means like you're asking me what it means to put yourself to the side.
Yeah, like what does that look like?
When you have problems, you have to be able to get through that yourself at times. Sometimes he's going to need to be left alone. He's going to need time to get his own shit together. Like they don't always want to talk. I mean, just I'm speaking in general terms. I'm sure there's some that do. You have to be okay with them being gone all the time. You have to be so trusting and so secure in yourself that you're not going to sit there and blow his phone up. Oh my God, are you with bitches? Like you have other hoes in other cities. Like they don't want to hear that. They hear that shit all the time.
Are
Like
you concerned though that he might be?
it's not my problem.
What
If
do you
I
mean
find
it's not
out,
your
I find
problem?
out.
Yeah, they're gonna.
I'm
do
not
what they
gonna
wanna
sit
do
here and worry about
regardless.
it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna live my life, and if shit happens, then on to the next.
Do you gravitate towards a specific sport or something? Like I don't think I could ever date a basketball player, but like a lot of girls that are cool with the whole cheating thing, they can kind of put it aside. I don't know. I've heard like baseball players are cheaters. I've heard football players, you can kind of, is it football?
I mean, here's the thing, like anyone can be a cheater. Finance men on the street can be a cheater. In this day and age, especially, like everyone has access to everybody.
Mhm.
So to me, the game is pretty even, especially because I know that I'm an attractive woman who has a lot to give. I know that I'm an intelligent woman. I know that the playing field is even as far as I'm concerned. I have as much access to as many men as they have to women.
What's your sport though? What's the one you
Oh,
go
I
for?
wouldn't say that. I mean, my dad coached football and baseball.
Oh, we did.
My brother played baseball as well.
Okay.
But I would say typically what I see the most of is my ex I had one Olympian ex who did wrestling. He's in the WWE now. And then my last ex was an NFL player. But I would say a lot of like basketball players, hockey players, baseball, football.
Will you date anyone who's not an athlete?
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, you know, typically like that's what I'm gravitated towards because it's what I know.
Okay. Ali, let's talk to you for a sec.
Sure.
So what are your standards? What are you looking for in a woman?
Someone who is wholesome, someone that I can raise a family with.
What's wholesome mean?
That's a very good question.
Oh, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Not on Instagram.
I think
That's what I thought. I don't know.
a lot. We use a lot of terminology. I think it's very vague. So
Sure, of
it's,
course,
It's good
yeah.
to know. Like,
Yeah.
what does that specifically mean? What does that look like?
Well, wholesome for me just means that they have certain morals that they uphold, and that perhaps their outlook on life matches mine as well. I mean, in general, I could say, you know, in terms of just physical attraction, I have to be attracted to them as well. I like girls that are a little bit shorter than me, not too short, not taller than me. And I like intelligent women when I can just sit down and talk with them and have a really nice conversation. And just women that aren't afraid of expressing any type of romantic interest in general. You know, just maybe even the first interaction. Someone who has, you know, a little bit of guts sometimes, you know. I know you guys were kind of alluding to that, where, you know, guys these days, they're looking for women to kind of take the step forward, and, you know, not so much the other way around. I can kind of attest to that to some degree. The majority of the women that I've been in relationships with have actually approached me first. And as a result, you know, it just made it a lot more easier for me. I feel like
Did you like that?
Yeah. I found it very, you know,
Even long term, you didn't find any like issue. That's something I hear from guys, is if she approaches them, and I'm somebody that approaches, so it's kind of a dig to me, but if she approaches you, she has a tendency to be kind of too masculine, is what I've heard later in the relationship, like kind of forward.
Yeah, have
I've
you
heard
found
as
that?
well, yeah.
No, not necessarily.
Okay, good.
It really depends.
Yeah.
It really depends. I think that's kind of like a generalization for the most part.
Okay.
But
Because that's
yeah,
a really masculine move.
it is. But I think that just means you're a go-getter in life. You know, I don't think being a go-getter is necessarily a masculine trait. You know, it could be just, you know, someone who is ambitious in life. So, you know, I feel sometimes in these type of discussions, we have a tendency of polarizing things. This is masculine, this is feminine.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, you know, a lot of this stuff, it's kind of in the gray area. It falls, you know, in both directions, in my opinion.
Well, I think that there's clear masculine and feminine traits. Whether a female or male possesses, you know, one of them or more of them is a different discussion. Like, we could have feminine traits and masculine traits. The ladies can have masculine and feminine traits. And if a female tends to have more masculine traits, typically that's more unattractive to, you know, to a guy. So I think that's why I was thinking, if you have, or you were even saying too, like if you're in a situation where the woman's approaching you, I wonder if because that's a masculine move. Go getter, ambitious, it's masculine. Doesn't mean she's masculine per se. Maybe she is, but that's the masculine traits that she possesses. I wonder if that comes, if she knows when to be feminine, when to be masculine in order to keep a relationship. So to the topic, there's a lot of single women right now. And I believe one of the reasons that is because a lot of women are embodying, and also it's being encouraged them to have more masculine traits, which is then in turn making it less attractive to men in general. Where women say, oh, well, the man is just intimidated. No, I don't think they're intimidated. I think they're just not attracted to a woman who displays so much of that masculine energy.
If it's too much, yeah, it can be off-putting for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I can attest to that. But, you know, you can be delicate with it, is what I'm trying to say. If you're a woman and you're interested in a guy, you know, you're giving your signals, or you're just coming, you're saying, you know, oh, I like your watch, you know, or something like that, just to start it off. And a lot of guys will probably just pick up on that for the most part. They'll roll with it. And then next thing you know, you're exchanging numbers and dating. So, you know, but in my opinion, I don't necessarily think it's a super masculine trait. It just depends on, you know, how you use it.
Okay. Well, let me ask you, we'll start with the next question. Start with you since we're on the topic.
Sure.
Do you think modern women's standards are too high? The average modern woman, do you think that her standards for what she's looking for are too high?
Yes. And, you know, I listen to these type of podcasts quite a bit. What I've noticed is that it seems that modern women are searching for the 1%, which I know you know what that means. I don't know if you guys know, but a certain it's a certain level of income, perhaps, you know, physical standards in terms of being strong or physically fit or tall to a certain degree and things like that. And unfortunately, a lot of men don't fall within that category. And, you know, naturally, there's going to be a lot of single women as a result of that, and a lot of single guys. So something's got to give.
Okay. Any comments to that?
Yeah, I was going to say, I can actually attest to that too, that I feel like it's also the roles are reversed. Like I feel like it's like the complete opposite of what you said for females, if you know what I mean.
No, explain.
Okay, so like you were saying that, what's the last comment that you made? I forget already.
With regards to women are kind of searching for the top 1%
Yes,
of men.
yes, exactly. So I feel like the roles are reversed. So I feel like men are also searching for that 1% of women. And that's why a lot of men are single, because they're expecting us to make a certain income, want to be like wives, want to have all these children, want to clean the house and do all these things. And I feel like you can say the same thing for in that situation as you can for women. Like men are also looking for that 1%.
I don't think guys really care too much about income. I don't think that's ultimately what will attract a man.
No, I agree. They don't care so much about it, but they definitely want like a woman that can hold their own. In my experience personally, I've just been in a lot of situations where guys will ask like, "Oh, what do you do for work? What else do you want to do besides that?" Like when one job's not good enough, or like if a guy, let's say there's a guy that's like a millionaire, he wants a woman who's going to make like close to that, or he feels like she's not doing enough.
I can actually add to that. And I
Yeah.
actually was with you for the longest up until very recently. And I still am on the fence about it. I don't think that men really care how much women make, if I'm being honest. But I have heard.
Yeah, like how much do your, NBA, NFL boyfriends care about how much you make?
Yeah, they don't. However, I have heard they do want women who are, as you were saying, go-getters.
Yeah.
Like you really have to be like constantly wanting to be better.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hold on. Let's be more specific, because go-getter and be
this
better.
was career related though in this specific scenario.
Okay.
He was saying, and she was a college graduate. She was, XYZ. He said she just doesn't have enough aspiration or like drive in her career
Who
wise
said
for
this?
me. This was a good friend of one of the guys that I dated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's actually like a common thing.
Yeah,
I
that's
know
what
it is.
yeah.
It's a lot more common than
No, I do understand it. I mean, being a man myself, I do understand. Like, I wouldn't want to be with, I don't know, a woman who was doing literally nothing, had no passions,
Yeah.
Right.
who was like a loser,
bummy women. That's like what they would say.
What is it?
Bummy women.
Bummy
Mhm.
women.
Yeah. So like women that didn't really know what they wanted to do with their life, even at like 28, and they kind of just wouldn't do anything with their day.
They
wouldn't
have
even go
to,
to the
sure.
gym.
Yeah, they have to be doing something.
It's more common than you.
Yeah.
But I
Probably
don't
are.
think it is even close to how much more important that is for a woman to feel about a man.
You don't
Whereas-
think there's a number attached to that, correct?
Would
Just before we like move on, like you just don't think that there's a number attached to having a woman has her own pursuits,
what do you mean a number attached to
income,
it? Oh, income.
as long as she has something that she's passionate about.
Exactly.
Okay.
100%. I don't
Yeah.
think any men are saying she has to be making a certain amount.
I can agree with that completely.
Yeah, I
maybe
can agree with
some
that
if
too.
they're like,
And
well,
the-
shit, I'm broke.
Yeah.
I gotta wife up so I can have
Yeah.
a double income. But I still have never heard anything like that. So yeah, I would say, no number.
Well, a lot of like the top echelon men or whatever, they want a woman that has gone to Princeton, like they went to Princeton. Their parents want them to meet up together, and usually that's like marriage or something. Some people would say that's class. I don't know how much I would agree with that, but some men who do want to get married, that want to get married before 30 typically want a woman that kind of did the same sort of education as them. A lot of this 1% will marry the woman that works at McDonald's. It's just not true.
Well, okay. That is definitely.
I think it could definitely happen more often than if a woman made money and would get a guy that didn't have a job or something. I could see it like that, but a lot of the times, marriage in particular, they're around the same income level, whether it's family or
Well,
whatever.
Yeah,
also
I
the top
agree.
1% man is not going to meet a girl at McDonald's. They won't be
They
in the
meet in
same.
school,
They won't be in the
typically.
same room.
Yeah, they meet in like school, like college.
Well, even then, so let's go to that extreme. A guy meets a woman, super feminine, beautiful, his type, super sweet. They go on a date. They get along really well. It's like this great match. And then she says that she works at McDonald's. I still think it's going to be, he might stick around, or it might be really, really, it wouldn't be like, she works at McDonald's, I'm out.
Right.
It's like, it would take a lot of time for him to be like, but she's all these great things, all these wonderful feminine things about her. And you know, maybe there's other things she does on the side and she likes to crochet or knit or whatever. She has little passions. I think you would get on board with that.
Yeah, but your chances, if like you're a girl and you're watching this podcast and you want to marry a guy like that, like going to school and college, it's your best bet because you're going to be around those types of men.
Well, right.
Mhm.
It's a better pool. But to say like you can be working at McDonald's and kind of insert yourself into these areas later, it's like, I don't know how much I agree with that.
Yeah. We're really shaming people who work at McDonald's, by the way.
Yeah, justice for the McDonald's workers.
Yeah.
Hey, I love
Sorry.
McDonald's. I love McDonald's.
I love-
Okay. So, Ali, you gave your standards. Stori, go ahead.
Also, sorry.
Oh no,
If you
you know,
don't-
go. Yeah, we're
Sure.
gonna say what? Yeah, continue. I still want to hear in terms of, do you think modern women's standards are too high? But yeah, continue.
Sure. One more thing that I like just came to my mind. Something that has become an issue is views on politics or culture as well.
Yeah,
Which I feel like never was the issue like 20 or 30 years ago.
I can
But
agree with
now, yeah, but now like you actually have to have these conversations to see if you guys are politically aligned or, you know,
I
stuff like
actually
that.
I actually had this friend who I'm not friends with her anymore, but I used to be good friends with her, and she would figure out if she was like which side she was on for voting, and if it was the wrong one, she just ended it right there. Like it didn't matter what kind of person they were, nothing. If they didn't vote for the right person, she was just done. So I can agree with that too. Not me personally, but I know it's out there.
okay. And what about you? Do you think modern women's standards are too high?
For the average woman, no. I think there definitely are girls who have like these crazy standards that just don't make any sense, and they're asking way too much out of men. Like they want every single man they meet to make millions of dollars. Like I feel like that's unrealistic.
Do your friends say that? You were hanging out with your friends earlier today, right?
I was, yeah.
Were you guys
Yeah.
talking about dating and sex and stuff?
I mean, we talk about like our situationships or guys that we're talking to at the time, but we didn't talk about those specific things today. No.
Well, do they say to you any kind of standards that you agree with or disagree with?
Yeah, I mean, since we're friends, we kind of all have similar standards, but for the most part, it's, you know, the guy that can take care of you, the guy that's going to bring out your feminine side, the guy that's going to just be a best friend with you and like have regular conversation more than just looks wise and want to take you to the bedroom. So I feel like a lot of women have normal standards, and I feel like guys' standards have just went down.
You think guys' standards?
How we see guys' standards, I feel like they need to like kind of step up a little bit. I feel like they're just normalizing a lot of things that shouldn't be.
Like what?
There's a lot of things. For instance, like I said earlier, like WID, it's so hard to get, like, okay, if you're interested in a girl and you want to DM her or text her or go up to her, you can do it in a lot like more professional way or a lot more wholesome way, I guess. Like you go up to them and, hey, what are you doing? I don't know, next week you want to go out for lunch, rather than let me get your Snapchat or like, let me get your Instagram. And then they DM you WID, or someone that you are consistently talking to and they want to make you feel like you're interested in them, and they just hit you with WID or you up or what are you doing later, instead of making actual plans. Like Thursday at 5 p.m., we're going here. It's very hard to find that. Everyone's just, what are you doing? Well, what do you want to do? So I
Yeah.
don't feel like standards are too high.
Okay. So you think that guys should come up to,
Yeah.
you think guys should be raising their standards?
I honestly think the main problem is social media. I think social media made a lot of bad things normalized. So it's like just across the board, everything just seems normal when it shouldn't be that way. Like all those things I was talking about, it's just so normal that it's not even a thing anymore to be like the gentleman.
I agree. Actually don't think that normal is the word, though. I think glamorized is the word.
Glamorized, that's a good
I
word.
think
yeah.
it's like that it's cool to
Yeah.
do the actual bare minimum or less than that.
And to have like hoes, to have a roster.
Right.
Yeah,
And for women too. It's not just
No, it
men
goes
that
both
are,
ways.
it goes both ways.
it does. But I feel like men have definitely, like you said, glamorized that a lot.
How many women do you think the average man is sleeping with? Like how many hoes?
Per month, per week, per day.
Per month. Per day. Per month. She's like, probably a lot. No, per month. Per month.
Mm,
Between
What do you
10 and 20.
Your
I agree
average
with
guy that makes like maybe 40K a year on the high end.
10, 15.
Okay. What about you? What do you think?
40K.
Yeah. A guy that's
Sleeping.
making about 40K. How many hoes do you think?
It's really just
Well,
like,
hold on. Before he answers, I want to hear Stori's answer.
I would say like 8 to 12.
yeah, same.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, Ali, your thoughts?
I'd say he's lucky if he gets one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with like -5.
Okay, but you're talking
I'm
about
gonna go with his
she's
hand in the bedroom watching a screen.
she's talking about you have to think about like a man who he could have $10 in his bank account. If he's got the
Better be
sauce,
super
if he's got the
slick,
sauce.
like-
That's
Listen,
what I'm
I've been
saying.
there.
No,
I've been there.
she's
I'm-
on to
I'm-
something. It's something that a lot of people
Yeah.
don't
Then
get.
they got it like that.
Yeah.
Then they just got it like that. It's really about like
That's what they have to offer.
Do you think it's
it's the guy,
looks?
it's the swag. If you got the
Swag.
look, if you got
Yeah.
the
The
mood,
vibe.
like that's
Yeah.
and that's just what I think.
I agree.
How do you
100%.
think a guy puts out that he has like the swag, the vibe on a dating app, let's say?
I'm not on a dating app and I never
Have
have
you-
been.
have you
So
ever
I
been- have you
can't
been on?
speak on that.
I haven't been in like
Okay.
over 4 years.
Okay. What about on Instagram, maybe? This is going to help a lot of men.
I wouldn't I'm referring to more of like an in-person interaction at a bar.
Right, you got to meet them.
I think Instagram actually ends up hurting them in the long run if they
Sure. Yeah. No, you're on. Yeah. The vibe is something you learn when you're in person with them. But I'm
Yeah.
saying for guys that are trying to utilize things like Instagram or dating apps, how can they put out that they have like that vibe or that swag? Is there anything that comes to mind when I,
I think
say
less is more.
so like a minimalistic profile,
Mhm.
Pinterest that?
Because
write
if
that
you don't
down.
if you don't have it, don't
Yeah.
act like you have it, or don't try to act like you have it, you know?
Yeah, that's
Just
the
like
worst.
leave it to
Exactly.
leave
When
it to
they
their
post
mystery.
what-
Like
when
leave
they
it to the
post.
It's the people
the
that are like
imagination.
flashing the money and doing all that stuff are the people who don't actually have it.
right.
Do you think that they're flashing the money because it probably works to some degree? Like, why would they have it?
For a certain crowd of women, I feel like it probably does. That's
Yeah.
why they
For
do
sure,
it.
yeah.
That's
For
why
sure.
they do
I
it.
think,
Yeah.
I think for more women, it probably
Oh, I'm sure it
works.
does. Yeah.
'Cause-
Well, I'm sure, Ellie, one of the reasons why you want to be with athletes is because, I mean, they're rich as hell. That's got to be at least
It could
one
be
reason.
it could really be like it no I in general, I don't care what you do, like you have to have it for yourself because
Mhm.
I have it for myself. And I will say this, if shit goes left, I will support you because if you could do it once, you can do it again. Like if you have a passion and you have that drive in you,
Exactly.
you got it once, you can do it again. Like
For how long, though?
that would truly like I've never once thought about that.
What do you think?
As long as I'm able to sustain that. I mean, if I'm married to them, then I committed
Yeah.
to you. I took that vow. And I'll stand by
3
that.
years go by.
3 years go by. Are you good to me? Do you
Uh,
treat me right? Are you genuinely it
yeah,
should
but
never
he's
take
not really making
never
money anymore.
it should never take a man 3 years to get your shit together.
No, especially if they've been there before.
No, well,
How long
sure,
could
but hold on a
you?
second. But either way, though, okay, yes, but what would happen if that was the case?
We're gonna have a conversation.
Mhm.
Maybe the D word.
Not the D
D
word.
for divorce, by the way, not
Oh.
for dick.
Thanks for specifying.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I would have a conversation. I can't speak on this because I have never been married. I've never been in that circumstance. I have no kids with anybody. So I would certainly do my best to support them in that time of need.
Let's say I just want to try to gauge this because usually if I ask it this way, you can kind of get a better idea. I've said I don't think I could do this longer than 6 months. Let's say you're dating a guy, he had a really good job, whatever. He ends up leaving the job and he's at home playing video games. How long could you walk in from your day job being like he's on fucking Xbox again without him looking for a job? How long could you walk in and see him being disrespectful by not even looking because you're carrying all the bills now? How long do you think you could walk in on him doing that?
4 to 6 months.
Yeah, it's usually what I hear.
If I
What
don't
about
see you actively like pursuing.
Yeah,
Like 72 hours.
exactly.
Get that ass up.
So
Yeah,
that's a
yeah,
lot
yeah.
You
different,
asked the
though.
question way better than I did.
Yeah, well, I know women. I have a bunch of girlfriends. It's all about how you present it.
Yeah.
So
No, but you're asking me like if he's trying.
Oh, if he's trying, then yeah. But
She's asking me if he's
Yeah.
not if he's sitting on his ass.
in like not pursuing anything, like that's all he's
right,
doing.
you're just walking and he's fucking on Xbox again.
Okay, I'll change my answer. Like a
yeah,
month.
but trying definitely would be longer than 72 hours. But
Yeah.
it must come to a point where
Yeah.
I mean, you've been trying for even 6 months. That's a long time. Think
That
about
is
how
a
long
long
ago
time.
Carry
6
all the
months was
bills,
today.
Yeah.
if you're
And
used
he's
to
trying.
therapy.
It's kind of like,
Yeah.
Try harder. No, that's rude. I'm
But
actually just kidding.
It's super
but-
masculine for a woman to be like, get up off your ass and go look for a job. So it's like not a role we want to be in either.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
okay, so Ellie, modern women, do you think that modern women's standards are too high?
I think they're either non-existent and women settle for dirt,
Facts.
or they're so high that they don't date.
Let's talk about that first one, the dirt.
The dirt.
So these are guys that are probably players
You know what? They could be.
or treat the girls like shit.
They just take what they can get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. They take
Yeah.
what they can get because the women allow that, and
Yep.
they provide for that, and they just give everything because they want love so badly
Mhm.
that they settle.
Okay.
Can I
Doesn't even
ask
matter if they're
Yeah.
being cheated
Yeah.
on.
Okay. When you hear a guy only wants to do coffee dates, the first date, what do you immediately think about the guy? Do you think he's cheap, or do you think he's like, oh, he's dating a lot of women, he wants to keep it maybe
No,
even
I
cheap?
love that.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah, what
love
do
a
you-
coffee date.
You
Yeah.
like coffee dates?
Yeah, I
Okay.
don't think anything of that. I think it's like a cute date.
Do
Yeah.
you think that? So a lot of women are like, I don't want to date a guy unless he takes me out to a nice dinner or something. Do you think
Mhm.
there's anything like wrong with that?
I personally don't. Like it's just the gesture in general. Like you're willing
Yeah.
to plan something, take me somewhere, pay for my coffee. Like
Yeah.
that's just a nice like time to spend with each other. It doesn't have to be an expensive dinner.
What if you paid for your own coffee on the coffee date?
Probably
Or you
not.
split it.
If I'm being honest, probably no.
Would you think that there's girls settling for that kind of behavior?
Yes, because I've seen it and I've been there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What about you?
What part?
The coffee date. You like the coffee dates. You're cool with that.
Yeah, I think it's cute.
Do you think there's girls out there that are like these types of girls right now? They're settling for the coffee dates, so now they're lowering the standard.
I mean, I don't think it's ever settling if somebody's offering to take you out. I think if a man is maybe not making a shitload of money, like maybe he's
Yeah.
just testing the waters. Like, I want to do something nice for her. I want to talk
Mhm.
to her.
Yeah.
I want a space where we can converse and just see where it goes without blowing it $500. And I respect that.
Yeah.
He should be paid for the coffee. It's $5, but
Yeah.
you know, I don't think that a coffee date is ever settling unless it's like that's.
The only thing that they take you to do.
I don't even know. Even if it becomes like your thing and like you go every week,
I think
like
that's
it's just
true,
there has to be
yeah.
things in addition to
Yeah, there has
that,
to
you
be
know,
other stuff.
eventually, right? Like
Yeah.
otherwise, like what are we doing? Like maybe we're just friends then. If that's
Yeah.
all we're doing is like getting
Yeah.
a coffee and like
Yeah.
dipping, you know?
Do your friends think the same way as you do?
No,
How do
Not
they-
all of
How do
them.
they think?
I mean, I'm friends with a lot of different types of people, so I think
Maybe like given like an average.
which part are you
Do
asking about? I'm sorry.
Atlanta. What are the girls like over there?
I personally don't relate to people from Atlanta
Atlanta.
in the dating scene. I think it's actually like a little bit rude for me.
Yeah.
I've heard people like keep patient in her and she's like, period, like as you should, king. Like I personally would never say that. Like those
Right.
words would just never come out of my mouth.
It's
No
Miami
disrespect
on
to that. It's just like
steroids.
that's like what
Okay.
they're used to. Like that's
Yeah.
what they're from. That's the vibe. Like I get
Yeah.
it. That's cool. I think they're just that lifestyle in general is very flashy. So the standards
fast,
are
yeah.
just set differently.
Yeah.
You know?
Torsha.
Yeah.
What do you think? Modern women's standards too high?
No, I don't think so.
Really?
Yeah, I really don't.
Wow.
I think women are scrolling through apps.
I'm surprised to hear you say that.
I know.
What are
Okay,
they
so-
saying is too high? What part?
They get girls on the show and they give like the guys will be like, how much does he have to make? And a lot of these people will hear the girls say, I don't know, like $1 million. But what they're not seeing is that, do you think a girl's really going to ask a guy on a date, how much do you make?
Right.
No,
Right.
they don't know. They haven't seen a tax return. Have you seen your ex's tax
Right.
returns? I haven't
No.
seen mine.
I don't want to.
So I think it's a lot of those panels where you see the guy asking that kind of creates this idea that women have higher standards than I think they actually do. I think women are just begging for the guy to have hands on a fucking dating app. They're like, this one has hands. Have you seen Gabby? Sorry.
No.
My channel knows what I'm talking about. It's like they're just
Who's that?
desperately. It's a girl she was on Courtney's channel, but it was so funny. She's
Okay.
like, this guy has hands. I'll swipe on him. It's like the guys are doing not even the bare minimum. I would say the bar is pretty low.
Yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like you guys don't think that they're too high. So why are so many women single?
Do you want me to talk about that stat that you had first?
Hit me.
Okay, so that stat, if I remember correctly, what was the percentage? 52% of women are single? Something like
Yes. A record breaking 52% of them are
that?
unmarried or
It's
separated.
misleading.
Why?
Because the year before it was 51. And then the year before that it was 50. And then 49, 48. So it really hasn't been record breaking. It's been going up a little bit, but nothing crazy.
And I'll add on to that. There's really no measure of what would make a woman unhappy, because
This is the
Well, that's a
single.
separate- that's a
the
separate
other
one.
one. This
oh
is the
yeah,
single.
let me get after that after you're done.
That's a good question to ask, though, because the way that they've tested for happiness has been different.
Oh, because you're talking about
The
52% of
single
women
one.
are single, not
Yeah,
unhappy.
So women, they're also looking at the women between a specific age group that hasn't really changed like throughout the years. So how do I explain it? It's like not 18 to 30, right? It's a smaller subset. Did it say if it was 18 to 23 or
Let's see.
they follow
No, it doesn't say. Let's see.
what's the study?
The
The
share-
Census Bureau.
It says also the share of never married women increased 20% over the past decade.
It's been increasing. So 1%
Yeah, so
over the
that's a lot.
2%.
That keeps going up and it keeps going up. Yeah,
Right.
I
But
mean,
women,
yeah.
the first age of marriage is typically 29 to 31, 29.
Yeah, I think the age is just going up a little bit for like
Age is
when
going
you get
up,
married.
too.
I mean, people were getting married when they were 18, 19 before. Like,
Yeah.
give us a little bit of time.
Yeah, that's like
Damn.
not a thing anymore.
Yeah. And I always find that interesting too, because women historically have been the ones to increase the age of life. How do I word that? It's like women have created seatbelts. We've created things that keep you safe at work. So,
Longevity.
yeah. So it's like when we talk about women who are single or whatever, it's like, well, we have women have kind of created this longer period where you can date or you can kind of get to know somebody. So it's like trade-offs or whatever. But that stat in particular, that one I always find interesting that people bring up.
It seems that, so here's my thoughts. It seems that over the course of the past, I would say 10 years since Tinder came out in 2012, that the standards are increasing. That women, maybe not every single one and every one of your friends, and maybe not you three, it seems that way. But the standards are increasing because of how much choice there is.
I would say the men that are willing to fly out a woman are they set the standard. And then women that I'm sure you fall in that category. You had guys that want to fly you out. Girls in nightclubs would say it all the time too. It's like that creates a specific standard and a lifestyle that other girls want to achieve. So I would say men are kind of kicking themselves in the foot by doing those sorts of things.
Yeah, but we're
right?
talking about top 10%.
Yeah, I don't even
How
know
many-
if it's
And you're
that. I
talking
think
about,
it
you're talking
really
about
is.
a small amount of men who do have the confidence to then go up to you and do those, you were saying, Stori, like shitty approaches or trying to just hook up, doing the bare minimum. I think the data is skewed. I think that females like you will get approached and get talked to a lot of guys who are doing it shitty. I totally agree with that. That's the reality. But this is a small group of men. So you guys will see, oh, this guy didn't text me back. He's not calling me. He banged me and then he left. And you're seeing this kind of skewed perspective where there's a lot of other guys that I see all the time. Guys who, for example, like would sign up for coaching, guys who follow my channel, that are guys that are great guys that you just don't know of, that are there. And so it's almost like, it's just like a bias, right? You see that, so you think that's what it is.
I think you're forgetting the amount of men that trick nowadays. So they don't have to be these rich 1% guys, but they're trying to make it look like they are.
Yes.
And half of women that are trying to date are trying to figure out, is this guy really who he says he is?
Yes.
So although it may be 1%, the reality is men are trying to front more often than not. Men are trying to put on a persona.
And why do you think they're doing that?
Because it probably works.
Yes.
I think it absolutely works. But I'm
Right.
saying to say it's this 1% of men, it's like most men are trying to be like the 1%. They will use credit cards. They will do they'll pull out loans and stuff. They'll do a lot of this stuff to get.
Listen, there's
women's
somebody
number.
for everybody. So just find somebody who just is okay with maintaining the same lifestyle that you maintain.
Yeah.
Like there's so many people out there. Like there's somebody for everybody.
So, Ellie, that is very nice of you to say.
I love that.
It's beautiful. It's romantic.
Seriously believe that.
Easier said than done.
I'm sure.
I know so many guys who struggle so hard with dating,
Yeah.
and they are great guys. I'm not talking about the guys who are losers, who live at home with their parents, who are making no money. I'm talking guys who do make six figures, who are, okay, maybe not 6 feet. Maybe they happen to be 5'9", 5'10".
Okay, did you tell him
who
to pull
go
his
on the-
dick out?
Hold on, who go on... Oh, what does that have to do?
I
with
mean, if
anything?
he's this great guy and he's making all this money and he's this
Well, not all
great
this
guy,
money, he's...
let me see your dick.
I've been talking about
Wait,
this
hold on.
exact phenomenon for a while.
I
Not
mean, it
exactly
matters.
like
It
that.
matters.
I don't get it. What do you mean
Well,
by
why
that?
are you this amazing man, but no one wants you? You've been on all these dates, and then
I
what? Fuck it.
would love to ask you that question.
That's why I'm
That's
telling
what
you,
she's
pull
saying.
his dick
because
out.
women
Yeah.
are not going on dates with those guys because the paradox of choice.
Or are they
have
just not staying?
They have so many options that they're not choosing.
That's
those
not
guys.
the reason they're not choosing
I
him.
know.
Why do you think?
Women want to be married. They want a man.
Mhm.
You're right, absolutely. But they want a guy who fits
Fucks.
their long list of what they're looking for.
I'd say
I don't
men
think
have-
it's that long.
How long is your list?
Pretty short.
Athlete. And that's it.
I mean, that's like a hard thing.
Nah,
to
it's
be.
not just
An
athletes. It's just
It
like
is.
just I don't know. It's just you just got to be the right guy. You don't have to be an athlete. You just got to be the right guy. You got to meet me probably in person.
You just got to be the right guy.
And you know what?
The right guy
if
who
you-
makes enough money.
Yeah.
Who has status.
My standards are high because I hold my standards for myself high as well. If I didn't and I was some bum ass bitch who just wanted to leech off a man, then I wouldn't have high standards.
I'm going to take your word for it that you do offer the value that you say you do to be able to attract that kind of guy. But there's a lot of women who don't.
Okay.
And they're entitled and they want this great guy when
Yeah, I
they
can't
don't
speak
offer
on
that
behalf of
value.
them. I can only speak for myself.
Yeah. Well, I guess more just kind of educating and just like telling you exactly what I would say.
I know.
Story, what do you think?
On which part?
I mean, everything we're talking about. Do you have friends that you see their standards are high and you're like, okay, maybe we can bring this down a little bit so you can actually get, do you have friends who are over 30 who are still single? And I think almost any woman over 30 who's still single, they should easily be able to find a guy. Easily. Because they have so many opportunities. I'm not saying that it's going to happen fast.
Mhm.
You're going to have to sort through a lot of men to find that. Just like men, we have to sort through to find a good woman. But like a woman has it on easy mode because she has so many
Men aren't
opportunities.
vetting.
I feel like it threw me off when you said easy
No,
because
they're not, but they should be.
it's definitely not easy. And I almost think that the older you are, the harder it is because that's when you're like, that's when you have your shit together. That's what you know what you want. You know your standards, you know everything. So it's harder to find a guy that matches that versus when you're younger, you don't really see the world clearly. You don't have as high a standard. So it's almost easier to
Yes.
find a guy when you're younger because the older you get being single, you're a lot more picky.
Yeah, and also you're not peaking anymore, right? So less guys want a woman who's 30 versus
That's rude.
I'm just being honest. Versus a girl who's like
I'm just
23,
kidding.
24.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
You know what I mean? But again, like I said earlier, I still think as a 30-year-old woman, you still have plenty of opportunities to find a guy. Maybe not as many as if a woman was 5 years younger. And I'll say the same thing to a
Mhm.
40-year-old. You know, she has even less options than you.
Yeah, I can agree with that too. I don't know. I think it goes kind of.
I don't think a
Kind of
30-year-old woman has any less opportunity just because the divorce rate is so high now.
Yeah.
How do you mean?
I mean, there's just people weren't getting divorced as much back then. So it's kind of like as the number goes up, your choices depreciate. I don't really think that's the case anymore. I think a lot of men are back on the market after their marriages.
My sister has talked about that. She's like, yeah,
Mhm.
come to the wedding. You'll meet guys. They'll probably be
Right.
divorced in
Oh.
a few years. And I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my God, it's a thing.
It's a thing.
But I
Yeah.
think it's bold of men to say things like women's standards are too high and then to also call them sluts and their body counts are too big. It's like, well, then why haven't you gotten laid? So,
Well, I agree.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
I'm just saying.
but yeah, to my point earlier, it's like, I do think that both men and women, to find someone great, you do need to have volume, right? Like,
Yeah.
can you
I
speak to this,
agree, yeah.
Ali, a little bit? It's
Yeah.
like, Do you find it hard to get volume as a man? You're 34, you're in the dating scene. Like, talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my biggest challenge is my job. You know,
How so?
well, I mean, running a small business, and you know, it's pretty much.
Well, that's great though. I mean,
Yeah,
small
it's
business,
great.
entrepreneur, ambitious.
I love it. I love it. It's my passion, right? The issue is that when you're running a small business, sometimes you know you're running out of time to even go to the gym. Sometimes, you know. So I hate to say it, I love going to the gym. I love working out. I love doing fun stuff, hanging out with my friends. But I have goals in my life, you know, and priorities, and my priority is my business. So, you know, it becomes a challenge to actually date. And I'm the type of
Just
guy
because of time.
Time constraints is
We're flaky too.
That's so true.
Yeah.
We really,
Yeah.
it's like a big problem.
Yeah,
I love
and
that you can admit
it's,
that.
it's true.
very
It's
true.
true. You know, and it becomes discouraging as a guy because maybe you'll reach out to a girl, you'll swipe with someone online, or you'll meet them in person, and then you know they become flaky. Then you're like, fuck this. This is, you know, why did I put the time in? Let me just focus back on work. You
But
know?
isn't that interesting too? You're saying women are flaky. You two just agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so why are women more flaky than men? I'll tell you why. Because they have more options. They have
Emotions.
a default more
Emotions.
options.
Emotions.
No
What do you mean?
I know
way.
girls that have not gone on dates because they got their period and they felt fat that day.
I'll stay home
Yeah,
because I
and they
just want
also
to
know that they
sit
can get
in
a guy.
bed.
Facts.
Right. But
Yep.
that,
I don't
like,
flake though. Like I'm just gonna tell you the day before. Like I have
that's
work.
flaking though.
But a guy
no,
can.
a guy,
that's
it's-
communication. I'm flaking if I text you 20 minutes
Like
before the
last
date and
minute,
say,
yeah.
sorry, can't make
If
it.
you cancel the date and don't give them like a reschedule, like Tuesday at 5 o'clock, it's flaking to them, and they get.
I think
really
that's just
pissed.
communication.
Okay, well,
What
Yeah.
makes it
I think that's
flaky?
reasonable,
I think
but-
it's
I'm like locked
respectful
in.
to
I
be-
can't go. I can't not go because I just changed my mind.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like
I mean, that's not flaking. That's just genuine communication. Like, I'm sorry, I
I
can't
agree
make it.
with you. I think like women that give a bigger notice, like a day, it's like respectful, you know, but
Instead of just not showing up.
yeah, but to guys, there's a lot of planning that goes in that we don't see all the time.
I mean,
whether-
he has to call and make a reservation and show up.
right, but like
Maybe
he's
send a
getting
car.
a suit. If he's gonna wear a suit, he's getting it steamed. Like he's
He
doing
probably
a lot
wore
of
it
stuff.
to work that day.
Yeah, and he's like told people he's going on this date with like this 10, and he's like showed everybody, and then now he's got to go to work.
That's his.
follow.
That's a personal problem, though. That has nothing to
Sure.
do with my communication or making. That does not make me a flake.
It's flaky if you don't reschedule, is my point. As long as you reschedule, you're in the clear. But if you don't, then he's got to come up with a way to ask you again, and even that just makes a guy so nervous. He might
I think
not
it
even
just
do
depends
it.
what you say.
I think a lot of guys will take the opportunity to be like, so are you free Tuesday? Typically, yeah, if a girl's canceling, you're like, okay, what are you doing this day? That's typically how guys do it. No?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you try to reschedule,
yeah.
and
I
you
try
know,
to tell girls to reschedule if you're going to cancel, but I guess that's not the norm. I don't know.
But you're lucky if it even gets to the dating stage.
Right.
You know what I
So you
mean?
get a
So as a
number.
guy, yeah, you
Mhm.
get a number one, then you have the texting phase, which is
The brutal one.
horrendous. I
Yeah.
hate it. You know,
Yes.
and
A waste of time.
and again, I'm going back to
Well, you
know
got
what
to
I'm saying.
call. Ellie wants you to call.
Yeah, I'm not answering a text.
I face
Actually, you know what? I do prefer
Yeah,
calls.
FaceTime or
Very,
call.
that's very unique. I have to say, I haven't heard that. I don't think ever. I don't know. Maybe or no. I have like pre-online dating. It was all about calling. But
Yeah.
now the fact that you guys say that, I mean, honestly, mind blowing.
Have you guys ever FaceTimed first? Do you guys do that?
I love a good FaceTime.
Do you FaceTime first?
Sure.
If
I
it's-
would
yeah, do
FaceTime
it.
first way more than I would text first.
Yeah.
Do it. The
If it's
guys
someone
will
I'm
take
into,
that
yeah.
and they'll
Yeah.
FaceTime you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If it's someone I'm
Moving
into, I'll
forward.
call or FaceTime. But if it's someone I'm like feeling out or not really sure of, then I'll just text. But I feel like
Yeah.
texting is just like small talk, kind of like a waste of time.
I agree.
But you
There's
set up
yeah.
a FaceTime right through text first. You don't just call someone like. you know.
Hell
Dude,
yeah,
Chicago,
get on that
just
call.
call.
Just
Oh,
call.
really?
Just call.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you can be like, hey, I'm gonna FaceTime you in 10 minutes, it takes so much off men and they'll follow. You'll never have to ask them again. It's one of my favorite tips that I tell.
So you guys are
women.
cool with the FaceTime date as a first date.
Oh, I was
Oh.
talking about like
Like initial
just-
conversation.
yeah,
Just to make
to
it
make
less
the
weird.
date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like instead of texting, like, hey, you free Thursday? Like just call me and be like, hey, what are you doing Thursday?
Because texting's so dry. I think
Yeah.
half the reason he was saying it's brutal is like,
I mean,
Do
if
we
you text
answer?
me
I don't even
directly,
know.
like, are you free this time? Let's go here. I will respond to that because
Mhm.
it's not small talk.
Yes.
But if you're like, hey, what are you
Mhm.
doing?
How's your day? Yeah. How's your day? How'd you sleep?
I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. I really
a lot
don't.
of guys think that they have to flirt over text. Ollie, do you try to like get better at learning how to flirt over text?
Absolutely.
You do?
Yeah. I feel like you have to.
I would say don't even put yourself through that.
Yeah,
Well,
I think it's a
I
slippery
do agree with
slope.
that. I think there's, dude.
Some girls
you've
like
seen
it,
my
though.
stuff. Come on.
After
Yeah.
you meet them, hell
Well,
yeah.
it's
But
just
like
too much room
before
for
that,
error.
it'd be
That's the
creepy,
problem.
like real quick.
Exactly, because if you say something, you're trying to flirt, and she's like
can be
reading it in her own voice and going,
Yeah,
Yeah.
know
No.
each
Okay.
other.
Okay.
She'll
So
be like on
you want to
second
do like
thought.
Yeah,
a
talk about when you
fun,
first meet.
conservative type of flirting.
Yeah.
Nothing like raunchy.
Like crazy.
It's, that's what I meant. So
Yeah,
you
but
know,
that first time,
I would say
I
keep
don't
it
know.
super direct until you
Mhm.
meet. And then
Yeah.
after
I
that, you kind
agree.
of get a read on her vibe, her body language, her lingo, like what she says, how she communicates, and she can get a good read on yours.
Yep.
And I think from there, it just makes it a lot easier.
have you
does.
ever gotten an unsolicited dick pic and you go, you know what? All right.
Never,
I'll,
never thought
I'll
all
see
right.
this guy.
Never thought all right.
No.
Definitely blocked them.
You're looking at me. I feel it. Like,
No, I knew you guys were going to say
I
that. But
like, I don't know.
okay, I want to continue what you were saying, Ali. So you're busy. You have a small business. It's hard for you to, but I want to hear more about this experience. Like what else is making it hard for you to date? Is it just because you don't have time or is there anything else?
well, besides that, it's me personally, I feel it's difficult to actually approach a woman that I'm interested in. So I'm here, we're in a podcast, we're all talking, having a good time, right? But if I see someone on the street randomly and I'm going to the grocery store or whatever, I'm in Target or Whole Foods, it's hard for me to like actually go forward and be like starting some type of a conversation. I have to think about how can I start it?
Yeah.
And a lot of the times just that thought,
It
that
psychs
opportunity
you out.
passes.
Yeah.
And, it's just, I feel it's difficult as a guy, but, it's something that I'm trying to work on is putting in the reps, right? So, just actually having the guts to go forward and, make those approaches.
Yeah.
If they
Yeah,
say
'cause
no,
if you
it's-
don't,
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not going to happen
Yeah.
for you.
Instead of like making conversation, have you ever thought about just like writing your name and number down on a piece of paper, handing it to her and just being like, see you Tuesday?
No.
Love that.
I've done
I
that
did that
before.
once.
I love
I would
that.
love that.
I was
Like,
23. I was not good with women, super shy, did not know how to approach women, was at a restaurant. There was a hostess working.
Oh, you
She was
make the
super
hostess
cute.
do it?
What?
To make the hostess do it?
No,
I've had to do that a
so
lot.
I'm like, so I had finished dinner. I don't even know who I was with. They left. I was like, oh man, I want to say something to her. I paced around outside
Ugh.
for 10 minutes of like, what do I say?
no.
What do I do? She's working. She's cute. I've never done this before. So then I go inside. I take my business card and I go, hey, thought you were cute. Give me a call sometime. Gave her my card and just walked out.
It's better than nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing happened,
Yeah.
obviously, but it's insane how much it gets to us as guys, like building ourselves up. You see a girl, you think about it too long, and then the time has passed and you make an excuse and you don't do it.
Yeah.
So
Right?
that's the thing is like with habits, right? If you, with any habit, you want to build a good habit and you want success in that habit, you have to make it easier, right? So sitting there and amping it up and thinking about it, oh, like, what do I say? Like, this is like the be all ends all. Like, I finally found this woman. Like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Like you're adding all this hype around it. You almost have to, in my opinion, like make it so nonchalant, like low effort, super easy for yourself. Like put
Yeah.
yourself in a position for success. You write your number down. You say like, see you Tuesday. And like that took 2 seconds.
It does not work.
But you know what? It might one time. And in the
It
event
will
that it
be like
doesn't, it would work
one-
on me.
It
It would
depends.
It would
me
work
too.
on me.
If
It would work on me
you
too.
are a super
And I've
good
actually
looking
gone
guy,
out with men that,
well,
yeah.
he's probably a super good looking dude.
But that's the thing is like women just are like so taken back by like the fact that a man would like do that. Like, oh, that's so
Mhm.
nice. Like, and yeah, like I want to go, like women want to go on dates. Like they want to go out and
Yeah.
do stuff. Like they don't want to like sit in his room and like watch him play Xbox. Like, like women aren't, I don't think as complex as some men might think.
Mhm.
Like even me, right? Like you would say that I have high standards, right? But like if someone did that to me at Whole Foods, like I would go on that
Yeah, I
date.
would love that.
If they were good looking enough and tall enough, for sure.
And
I mean,
I'm
there would
literally
have to
I'm
be
going out with a
But
guy
if
right
you get
now
a
who is
guy
not
who's-
6 feet tall.
How tall is he?
probably 5'10".
Oh, well, first of all, that's
And he's not an
still pretty
athlete.
tall.
I mean, he was an athlete at one point, but he's not anymore.
And he makes a lot of money.
I
Remember?
have not asked.
Listen, by the way, I think that it doesn't matter what your standards are. I don't even care. Like, your standards can be whatever they can be. It's just about not being delusional and knowing that the standards that you have, can you actually meet that person? So Ellie, it's working for you, right? Clearly, like, you have these high standards and you're attracting the guys that you really want. Is that happening for you, Stori?
No.
Okay, so what's going on there?
I feel like I have high standards, and I mean, sometimes I'll attract guys that I feel like are on my level, but it just, like, personality wise, it doesn't work out, or like hobby wise, it doesn't work out. And then the guys that I am finding that I have like similar hobbies with, similar interests, like personality wise, they typically are not where I'm at in life. So it just ends up not working out. I can not find like the perfect medium. That's what I'm struggling with.
How long is your list?
What do you mean? Like my
Like-
standards list?
Yes.
I mean, if we're combining like physical, like emotional, personality wise, all that, honestly, probably pretty long.
Do you see the problem in that?
I do. And I've been told that actually, yes.
And listen, I'm only saying that there's a problem in that because it seems like you want to get married.
Yeah. I mean,
Do you
who
wanna-
doesn't,
and do
honestly?
you want to have kids?
Not anytime soon, but eventually, yes.
Okay, eventually. So if your list is really long, that means you have a smaller pool of men
Yes.
that you can go after.
Right.
So what's going to happen is if that list stays the same exact size and you keep getting older while that list stays the same or keeps on growing,
Mhm.
it's just going to be harder for you to find a guy.
I
and
agree
then
with
you're
that.
not going to be able to achieve the goal that you want
Yeah.
of getting married and having kids.
Yeah. No, I
Are
agree
you
with
okay
that.
with that?
I mean, I'm not okay with it, but I've messed with my standards a lot. I used to have lower standards, hate to admit it, but over the past couple of years, they've grown a lot based on who I've become as a person.
So maybe you're overcompensating from your past.
I actually
It's
think
possible, yeah.
she doesn't seem like she has really unrealistic standards. What
No,
seems like what you're
not at all.
doing is you're putting boundaries in place.
Yeah.
And so you're cutting out a lot of really good guys that you're probably think you're protecting yourself by doing that. I think you, instead of saying her standards are too high, I would go back and see what you can give up that is kind of stupid. You'll know exactly.
Like petty standards.
Like icks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do have a lot of icks.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Well,
you,
I think
yeah.
anyone who has a long list has unreasonable standards. Even
Are
if a
icks
guy.
part of a standard list?
Give me an example of an ick.
running in the airport with flip flops and a
Yeah.
backpack.
Who gives a
Just
fuck?
like something that turns you
But
off.
that's what I'm
basically.
saying is
Yeah.
like there's things that
Yeah,
women
the
add
icks are
to
just
this.
Yeah.
stupid. Like,
I mean, I wouldn't
I
consider
think you
icks on
just
my
don't
standard
like him in the
list.
first place if you're getting
Exactly.
icked out by shit.
Yeah.
Because when you really mess with somebody,
It doesn't
you're not
matter.
icked out.
Those are kind of considered quirks, and I feel like if you really like somebody, you kind of grow
What
to
if
like
one
those
guy does it,
things.
you're gonna be like, ugh. This
Yeah.
guy does it, you're gonna be like,
Yeah.
see,
don't mind it.
Isn't that funny though? Think about this for a second. Because I was just chatting with my brother about this the other day. He sent me a TikTok of all these women doing the ick trend about all these guys doing like feminine stuff. So now the list just keeps growing.
It's-
Come on, Torrie.
women-
the list keeps
women aren't
growing.
actually-
It's like, oh my God, now it's icks.
But
It's like it's just making it
they're not-
so
but I
much
feel like
that much
not
more
going
harder
into
for
their
guys to be
list.
That's
women.
getting
Yeah.
looked into way too heavily.
Yeah,
Like,
that's way
ser-
too.
It exists
When you
though.
have to
Is
be
it
the-
all a joke? I don't know.
Remember earlier you
Yes.
said
It is.
you want a guy that's, I forget who you were talking to, but you're like, oh, she wants a tall guy, but let's see who she's dating. Remember you said something
Yeah.
like that? Okay, that is a perfect example of women that don't follow their whole standards.
Yeah.
And that's great.
Right.
Yeah,
but
that's
what,
great.
but that's what I'm saying. It's like they might have icks. Shit, there's a lot of things that piss us off about men that we joke
Mhm.
about. It doesn't mean that we're disqualifying men.
Yeah, or like ruling
I
them
hope.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
no, I hope.
your situation, I don't know you. I don't know exactly what you're doing, but like you give me the same vibes as myself. And I bet you there's men that are really good that tried to go out with you and they're like, they said something, this is just an example, like, oh, I want you to come back to my place. And you were like, I'm not gonna date a guy that does that
That
early.
did happen recently.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a perfect example of cutting a guy off who
Yeah.
might not even be trying to sleep with you in that
I
instance.
definitely did that like 2 weeks ago.
So guys have to build sexual attraction in part with dating, which is really difficult in this day and age. It's
Yeah.
where guys are like called creepy and stuff. So
Yeah.
I think
And you
we
have
all
to
just
learn
need to
that
be
too.
better about
mhm.
have to learn that.
communicating.
I
to
agree.
be
I think
honest.
communication is
Like
a
I'm a
huge
very
issue.
blunt person. Like I'll tell you
Yes.
straight up, just so you know, if I walk in here, we're not sleeping together.
Mhm.
that is an indication
many-
for
how many
men
dates
to
for you, Ellie?
pursue
How
you.
many-
If he said,
dates?
if he said to me, like, let's go back to my place, I'd be like, just so you know. You know, like, you can kind of poke fun at it too. Like,
But guys would say if a girl says, "Oh, we're not going to sleep," that's almost a 90% chance that if he kind of rubs you the right way, that you'll do it. So
Which is why I don't
saying
go
that,
home.
whoa,
so,
whoa,
I
whoa, whoa,
think
yeah,
it's
whoa.
that's
really-
it's like another
think that's
What do
like
you,
a
what,
turn
no,
off
say that
when a
again.
girl
Say that
says
again.
that.
Say that again.
So if a girl says in a certain context, like we're not going to do anything, right? That's usually it usually tells men there's a 90% chance, maybe 80%, that she'll sleep with me. I just have to make sure I don't fuck it up from this part to back to the house. So you saying that is fine. I mean, most women do say something like that to kind of re-gauge the comfort level. There's a lot that goes into like sexual
I think it too, it just depends
I
on
kind of
like
agree with you.
the vibe too. Like, if you say that to somebody that I've dated and like that's all they want from me, they'll be like, okay, then I'm about to drop you off. I'm about to get you an Uber then. Like, that's real shit, you know? Like,
Yeah.
there just
Mhm.
has to be like that open barrier, because like with the people that I date and the people that I've experienced, like, if you aren't like so open and like that's really all they want, like
Yeah.
they'd rather just move on and be like, okay, I'm
And
gonna
that-
call Shawty up the road then, like that's fine, but I'm gonna call her instead. Like,
And
I'm gonna
what
get you an Uber.
And what you just described is that comfort. So you being like I don't want to be just a lay. I don't want to be just somebody that like he fucked. That's my like guys are gonna go between what is a comfort and something. Comfort is like making sure she knows that you're gonna call her again, making sure that like she knows it's not just a one night stay or one night lay or whatever. So you saying that just was proving the whole comfort thing is what I'm trying to explain. I don't know if you're following. 'Cause
No,
we're
not
flipping
completely.
between men and women. It's
No, not
tricky.
completely.
It's tricky.
I think that it's I think it's really unattractive if a girl were to say that.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think that it's
But why?
It's literally just about how you say it though.
it's-
Like, if you're,
well,
it's just about how you
it's
It's
present it.
teasing. I don't think
it's a very
bad
aggressive thing to say. And isn't it just like,
She's walking
Oh,
with you.
okay.
It's like she's assuming something,
Right.
You know.
Well,
where,
how do you
okay,
think
maybe,
she
and maybe he
feels?
does want to do it. And a lot of
Because
guys,
he's probably
a lot
grabbing
of
your
guys
ass
do
on the
wanna
way
have
home,
sex.
and if you're like kissing him and you're like, not tonight, you know, like,
in that specific instance, for sure.
yeah.
I'm imagining,
You're not just like looking at him at dinner and be like, by the way, we're not fucking.
I mean, that happens.
You know,
sometimes.
like,
No,
that's outrageous to me.
that's happened
Like,
to
no,
me, and
I'm
I'm
not
like,
saying that, but like,
why is she saying
I
that
think
when we're
women
not
are
even
teasing.
kissing yet?
like you
know?
can say it in
I
a
mean,
sexy way.
Because I also feel like if you go on a nice date, like what if you're not going to sleep together? Why are you going home together? Like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like especially if that's your first date, you don't have to
Yeah.
go home together. Like, you can do that eventually, like Netflix and chill, sure. But like the first date, like I feel like that's kind of inappropriate. So if a guy
Yes.
asks you, like, I'll say from my past experience, sorry if he watches this, but went on a date, everything was great, didn't try and kiss me, nothing. And then as he's walking me back to my car, he says, by the way, you want to come over? I'm like, that threw me off because that's telling me that you want
that
one
would
thing.
throw me off.
It's telling me that,
So you
that
think
you
there
want
should
one
have been
thing.
an intermediary step?
I don't think he should have asked me to come over at all. I think he just should have ended the night and asked me to hang out again.
Yes,
That is
I agree.
something that I
So that
tell
turned
guys.
you off? That you-
I haven't
Yes.
talked to him since.
I would not.
That's so creepy. He was not even
Yeah.
escalating during the date. They didn't touch or anything, and now he's
You
like,
have to have a
"Wanna come
reason to
over?"
invite her
I mean,
over.
Yeah.
okay.
Come
It's
on.
not the smoothest way to
It
do
doesn't
it.
feel good.
It
That's
just
for
turns me off.
sure.
It's like I feel like you just want to sleep with me, and then so I'm just like, no, I'm just gonna like move on.
Yeah, but
Mm.
all guys want to sleep with you.
Yeah, but he made it obvious.
Yeah, you can't make it
So-
obvious.
So see,
So-
this is
That's
This
that's
is
the
something
picky part
that-
that you're
What-
talking
that's
about.
what I'm exactly. So
All
it's
guys
like
say
It's
what-
all about how you move, I feel like.
What if that
It
guy was a
is.
great guy? Why? Because he just was the one who
He was
wanted to
weird.
attempt sex.
Yes.
It's the way
that's-
he went about it. It just completely turned me off. It just made me not even
I think
interested.
that's one of the things that might be keeping you single. Those little
You think
moments.
so?
Yes, I think so.
Then
I
we'll
feel
stay
like
single,
other
baby.
females would tell me that
Yeah.
I was
Oh
good
my
for
God,
walking
stay
away.
single
So
because the
have
guy
you-
wants to have sex. They
Hold
all
on,
do.
hold
We
on.
all want
But then
have
if I
sex.
were to
Okay,
go-
but then it's about his rebound. Then
Wait,
how do you come
no,
back
here,
from
I have to
that?
say
Because
something.
nothing what you said was creepy to me. It wasn't like
It wasn't
he was
creepy. It was
being-
uncomfortable.
It's not creepy. It's just OD. It's just
Yeah.
too much. Like end the
OD.
night. It's
I love
way.
that.
It's too much.
So
Like,
let's say-
just
Come on, let her,
relax.
let her
have
go
some-
ahead.
Wait, I have
Go
one more
on.
thing to say. So let's say, for example, I did go over to his place. And then I clearly in my head didn't want to sleep with him. What if he tried? Then that makes me so uncomfortable. And then I have to be like,
Right.
I'm not sleeping with you. And then that just makes it even weirder. So I'd rather just end it before even going over there.
This
That's
is what
not
this
what
is-
my intention
Well,
was.
that's
This
fine.
is
You
all-
listen, you don't
this
have
is
to
so
go. You
full
don't have
circle.
to
This
go
is
over
being
there.
a gentleman. This
Yeah.
is what I'm talking about.
Gentlemen.
Old
Yes.
school shit.
Yes.
So you've never had sex with a guy on a first date?
Yes, I have, but that's when I
So-
was younger. That's not what I'm
Are
looking
they
for
still
now.
around?
It doesn't matter.
No. That's not what I'm looking for now.
Okay,
And maybe that's what she
Easy.
wanted then.
What?
I know where you're gonna go.
Where do you think I'm going to go?
You're gonna ask, well, if you were willing to do it with the men before, type of a thing. Like, go ahead.
You know what I think? I think that there was something about this guy you didn't like before that happened. I don't think everything was going really well up to that point. I think at that point you were maybe on the fence or something else was off or you weren't sure about him. He did that, and that was.
Like gave me an ick, you mean?
I'm
maybe?
giving you the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, I think that there was something else.
The problem with that though is that that's a first date, right? So it's already kind of awkward. You're already not at your best. You're already not opening up. You're already not at your best personality,
Yeah.
your best swag, or whatever you want to
Yeah.
call it, right? So he could have had a second chance to be better. And now he just, I mean, if he
Yeah.
rebounds that well and he says, you know, my apologies, that's on me. Let's go out Friday. Like, what are you doing? I'm going to make us a reservation for here. Like, let's just move forward, you know, like
Oh,
either
yeah,
move
that'd totally
forward,
be fine.
rebound well,
Yeah.
or just dead it.
I think one of the problems that we tell women, though, in terms of dating is either you're being told to just sleep with the guy whenever you want, or you're being told hold out because you don't want him to think you're a hoe. I'm telling you right now, it doesn't matter which of those you pick. You determine if that guy treats you as a hoe. So if you fuck him on the
I can
first
agree with
date,
that.
but you have a lot of qualities that are really like they match with the guy a lot, he's not going to treat you that way. If you call him after you fuck him, he's not going to treat you that way because you're putting in that effort. Guys,
He will if you fuck good.
there's that too. There's that. I mean, I don't know that. I feel like I'm more inexperienced when it comes to it. I get really uncomfortable talking about sex. I have to be honest with you. But my point is like, there's a lot of girls I know and a lot of girls I've talked to who are like, I don't want him to see me as a hoe. And I'm like, you could have fucked him like 2 hours prior. He's only going to think you're a hoe if you move like a hoe. So as
Right.
long as you show interest after, typically that actually works in your favor, but it's very like slippery
In
slope.
my opinion, I think that the problem is that guys don't know how to escalate properly.
I agree
okay?
with you.
And
Yeah.
but on the flip side, I think that women should be aware of this instead of setting that expectation. You know, as long as they're aware of it, then they can cut him some slack, and maybe even talk to him about it. Not about escalation, but like, hey, you know, honestly, I feel a little uncomfortable, or you know, just have that discourse or the conversation in general.
I think it's a matter of that. So guys do have to learn how to do it, how to escalate tactfully. However, if you're a guy who has insane status or value, at that point, the woman's so attracted that I think that it wouldn't even matter at that point.
Guys,
So I think it's like a combination of being tactful, but also if you've built enough attraction
I
and
can
she's
agree with
super
that.
into you, she's probably
Yeah.
just going to sleep with you. And she wouldn't have said what Stori said of, he asked me to come. Like, how many times has that happened where a guy just goes, hey, want to come back to my place? And it just does, right? Again, I'm taking your word for it in terms of him doing it in a very kind of bland, generic, non-creepy way. You interpret it
Yeah.
as creepy, I think, maybe because you weren't so into the guy. But I don't know, you tell me.
I mean, it wasn't creepy. I'll tell you verbatim. So we were walking back from the restaurant and he had eaten an edible that night. So we asked, do you want to come back to my house and eat an edible? But it was just very,
That's not a bad excuse, I guess.
Just from me
if he knows that
being-
you're into edibles.
I can just tell you from me being in that situation, he made it very clear. Like I could just tell what his intentions were. Like we started drinking, the more the conversation went on, it started to get more sexual. The conversation was, he started asking certain questions. And then at the end of the night, he says, do you want to come home? I knew exactly what it was and I wasn't for it.
So was that interaction really awkward? Like where he was trying to escalate with the sexual stuff?
It was a little bit. I mean, it wasn't uncomfortable. I was fine talking about it, but for me, it's too soon. Like a first date, I
Yeah.
just meet you and you're asking me like certain things about the bedroom. I'm like,
Do you think it
No.
showcases that he has experience or no experience? I think when guys talk about sex too,
like experience with like sleeping with women.
Yeah.
Mm,
it's like, oh, what's your favorite position? I feel like that right away
That's
tells
so
me
weird.
that
Yeah,
you
it wasn't-
haven't fucked.
it wasn't that generic, but
that can work, but that can't
I
be
don't
the,
know.
that
I don't
can't be
know.
the first thing to break the barrier
You'd
of
be
we're talking about
surprised.
sex.
You'd be surprised
About what?
how men break the ice.
Oh no, I believe you. I
Yeah.
believe you. I'm sure
so
that.
I
yeah.
can tell you what
Pretty good.
happened. So I said basically for the date, he asked me what I want to do, and I said I'm down for anything. And I've heard that. I guess that's not the best thing to say, but obviously I just mean like I'm down for you know, whatever, like dinner, mini golf, like whatever. And then when he started drinking, he asked me, so what does it mean when you say you're down for whatever? And that's when he started, I'm like, come on, man.
It's cheeky.
Like, come on.
It's cheeky.
All right, we got our super chat here from Mike Denver. Sorry, guys. I know that people are having trouble with super chats. Everyone's saying, like, I'm trying to super chat. I can't do it. It's not working. Torsha, fix this.
You guys can just say you're broke. Like, you don't have to be like
Oh
that.
my
like,
God.
Come on, super chat. Come
Wow.
on, our sugar daddies, a man with some ends.
Click
Super
the link
chat
for
your
GoFundMe.
bitch.
Guys,
Let's play truth or dare.
Torrie, harsh.
Losers.
All right, Mike Denver says, Trip, I would like to hear the guy's experience and see what advice you and the women have for him. Thanks. So
Okay, Mike.
I think he means Ali, if I'm getting that correctly. So your experience, like where you think you need help.
I would say I would need help.
If you do, I mean,
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know.
That's
Maybe you
actually
don't.
why I, reached out to you.
Pre-selection. Women.
Well, yeah. One is,
See how much work men have to do.
yeah.
I'm aware of it. I'm just saying one of the easiest ways, because you have it all down. Like, you have everything going for you. It's like pre-selection, being surrounded by women.
Yeah.
It's already like it makes women more with their guard down or whatever. Like, if somebody's like, hey, meet my friend, and it's a girl introducing me, I'm 100 times more likely to actually listen to what you're saying instead of, oh, you approach me on the street. I'm like, get away from me type of a thing.
Yeah, it just catches you off guard. You don't really we think too fast. Our initial reaction, I feel like, is to say, like, no, thank you, like the grocery store thing.
Yeah.
I feel like if you were to just go up to someone in Target and be like, hey, I think you're really pretty. Would you like to go out with me? It's not that we don't like it. It's we're so caught off guard that our
Yeah.
initial reaction's like, let me get out of this. Versus if you were to like write your number down and like she said, hey, I'll see you on Tuesday, then it
Well, it
alleviates
depends
a
how
lot of the
attractive the
pressure. I
guy
think
is, and it depends how his approach is.
it's
right?
definitely situational, but I feel like it's
Yeah.
more likely to be more positive if you more so like slip them a number or do it like she said, less effort.
I
Really?
think
Yeah, less
I-
effort.
I think
I
if you're going to
disagree.
approach like that, I would say throw out that sales pitch, which is like, I just need 10 seconds from you. And then that'll immediately make me be like, okay, well, he's going to leave. So what the fuck do you need? Like, that is the only time I've ever been
Yeah,
open to
okay.
an opener.
In game, that's called a false time constraint. It shows the woman that you're not going to be there long, so that it
Yeah.
lets her guard down.
So like running in front of her, making sure you're positioned to like get in front of her and then leave. I think that's the best.
Yeah. So continue what you were saying, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's with regards to just developing that level of confidence. I feel okay. I'm tired of like dating apps. I don't like them.
Mhm.
They're not fun for me. I just don't think it's
Why?
natural.
Why?
Um,
If you were getting results, you wouldn't say that.
yeah, but I would feel better about myself as a man if I had the ability to go out and meet women on the street
Yeah.
and have that
Naturally.
level of confidence to naturally just approach
It
them.
builds, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. I feel that's what matters as a man in general. Because I mean, you can make a nice profile, you can chat, get a number, and do it
Yeah.
that way. I think that's a lot more easier than actually approaching a woman in person.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So for me, like that weakness that I have that I'm trying to kind of develop and build is getting in the reps of just talking to random women that I'm interested in and developing that level of confidence of actually approaching them and just talking with them. The thing is, it's the area that I have trouble with is that I can so part of building it up, right? You go from step 1 to 10 is that you start by saying hi to people randomly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Just be like, hi, how are you? Good morning, this and that. And then you build it up to actually having conversations with people. And maybe it's people that you're not physically attracted to. It could be old women. It could be,
Fat
random.
women.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
Looks like you have all the advice you need.
well, yeah,
I mean,
it's just,
that's great. Yeah, I would agree with that.
yeah. But the area that I get stuck with is that jump into a woman that I'm attracted with.
Taking the approach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I could build it up, boom, 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 boom. But then like, it's something about just
Why are
seeing
you putting the woman above you? That's why do you think this woman is like, what's the word? Pedestalized. You see a woman, you're like, oh my God, she's beautiful. She must be better than me. That's what I get from
Well,
it.
is that what you're saying?
no,
or-
not necessarily. Because
It's
I
only when she's attractive that you get nervous though, right?
just haven't done it.
Yes.
You know, so I feel naturally like
It's just
because
a
you
lack
have-
of experience.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's with anything though. Like practice makes perfect. I think you just have to throw yourself in. You get denied. Oh, well, I'll try again. Like,
But
you
how
know?
do you like soften that up? How do you kind of cater it in a way where it's a little bit easier to flip that switch?
The hotter the girl, the less she is approached, and like really understand that. I think a lot of times,
That's so true.
like guys think the hottest girls get approached daily. It's not true.
It's the opposite.
It's the
Also,
opposite.
what makes her so special? Because she's physically attractive. I understand that's what you desire, and sexually you desire that, and you don't want to get rejected because you want the opportunity with that kind of woman. But you have to look at it in a way where you're not just looking at that one thing, right? It's like she absolutely has flaws. Like we all have some sort of flaws.
Yeah.
I would even maybe argue the more beautiful the woman, potentially more flaws, because she hasn't had to ever maybe even build herself up, because she always got away with being pretty and got a lot of attention. And there's all kinds of stats of women who are very attractive who have been able to get further in life just because of their looks. So there's no real logical reason, something to think about, to put that attractive woman on the pedestal. Like you should be going into it thinking, what can I learn about her that's going to make me think that she's awesome besides her looks?
Yeah.
And also, it's just, I like to make a smooth approach. You know, I mean, you can go direct into it, but I feel if you're more smooth about it and you're able to just kind of point something about her and ask her that way and open up the conversation, it seems more natural, and they're more inclined to actually, you know, have that conversation, and it may go somewhere.
I wouldn't do the number.
Yeah,
on
I'm not a
paper
fan
route.
of that either.
Right.
to be
It's
honest.
going to be a
Really?
low conversion.
Yeah.
I
If he
promise
comes
you.
up to me
Because
and tries
women
to
are-
start a conversation, I'm gonna turn around. If he hands me his number, I'm gonna be like, "Oh, that's
You're
kinda
going to
cute."
rip it up.
No,
No.
I'm not. And I've literally
Why
gone
would
out
you-
with men who have done
That
that.
makes no sense.
Do a
Why would you
business
Or if you are
take
at
the
a
number and be like,
business
I'll call
card.
him, versus he just opened up
Because
his
now he's
mouth.
leaving it up to me. Now
Yeah,
he's
it's
leaving
like-
it
it,
up
like,
to me.
throws us,
I don't like, I'm with my friend, like be effective. Send me a shot or send me a shot across the bar. If we're at the bar, we're at a restaurant, send me a shot.
Mhm.
Cheers, take the shot with me.
It
Couple
opens up
minutes later,
conversation.
walk over and be like, what are you doing Friday?
But he only
It doesn't work.
he
that way.
yeah, he only
I mean,
has
I've seen it work. I'm literally, it's worked
men
on me.
and women
Yeah,
are not
same.
attracted by the same thing. You have to understand it's not the same thing. Like if a woman were to do that to a man, for sure, that would work like almost 100% of the time. But a woman needs more than just a guy's looks, right? They need to see his confidence. They need to see like his personality, what he's like. So if he's not a very attractive guy and he's going up to a girl, if he's 5'6" and he's bald and he's got a distorted face,
Play in
and he
your
doesn't
league.
know how to
That's
have
all I can say. Play in your league.
Yeah, because would it work out eventually anyways? If there's no attraction, then it doesn't matter if that pickup line worked or not. It would just never work because
he has more, maybe, but he has more of a shot if he at least goes over and shows like, hey, I'm a cool dude.
No, a lot of men should not open their mouths.
So what should
And
they
you can
do?
say the same thing about women.
Well, how do you get to know
Because
someone?
you're in a bar, it's loud, you can't fucking hear. I'm
Well-
sweating. I have people around me. Like, now is not the time for a conversation.
Mhm.
Drop the number or just
Guys,
like
don't listen to any of this. So many men
I'm not
meet
having a
women at
conver-
bars, and so many. And also, why are we only talking about bars? Why we could be talking
Women
about
don't
approach
restaurants,
anyway?
not
Women
matter.
don't really like being approached in like the gym, right? Like,
no, fuck no.
so like the
I
club,
don't mind.
the club
The
or
gym is
bar
definitely a
is going to
tough
be the
place.
best place because we're all ready. Right.
right.
So I think,
Absolutely. That's why I'm referring to that scenario.
oh, I thought you said don't approach her or something. I was
No,
like,
don't try to like start. Like, I had a guy come up to me the other day at a bar and he was asking me like about my relationship with my brother.
weird. Did
I'm
you say-
sorry. And he was cute. Like, he could have had a chance if you would have just shut your mouth
Yeah.
and handed me your number and just walked away.
It's got to be
Yeah,
the right
I-
approach.
Yes.
gotta be the right
the
approach.
Yes,
conversations
he
in
has
loud
to be
environments do not
He
work. That's
has
all I'm
to be
saying.
the guy that you would think is attractive
I
without
do agree
having
with
talking
that.
to him.
I do agree with
Of
that. Attraction matters. If
course.
it's a person that's not attracted to me, they come up to me. Doesn't matter what you do. I'm not going to be interested.
Right. Exactly.
You've never been on a date with a guy who you thought, he's not really my type, but there's something about him I kind of like.
Yes, I have.
Or you've always just liked guys who you find super physically attractive.
No, I've like before when I was on dating apps, I've matched with someone. I thought their personality was really cool, and then I ended up meeting them in person, and something clicked. It wasn't there. Like you can just feel when someone vibes with you, and it wasn't even just the looks. It just didn't work out.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on what Ellie is saying, though? Do you want a guy to just come up to you at a bar, for example, and give you a number and run away like a little scared little boy?
Okay,
Or
nobody
do you
said
wanna have
that.
a-
Nobody said that.
That's what it seems
I'm saying
like.
hand the
No.
number and be like, I'll see you Friday.
No,
like,
she's saying like, okay, you're with
Her
your
version has
you're with a group of
swagger.
you have to
girlfriends.
have
Yeah.
swag. Like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah.
I think we're talking about different men here because if
I think it is.
I'm
So like,
sorry.
let's say like I'm at a bar or
That's just not good
a
advice
restaurant.
for every single guy.
nothing is gonna work for every single
no,
guy.
but there's
every man
but
has a
there's
different
odds.
strength.
But
Play
there's
to
odds.
your strength.
you
That's
gotta
all I will say. Play to your strength and play in your league.
Ellie, what is swag for you?
It's just an aura. Like, it's how you carry yourself.
How the
You
way-
walk in,
yeah.
you know that you're confident.
Yeah.
Like, you kind of like know that you're that guy. Like, even if
Posture.
you're not that guy, you fake it till you make it. Like,
Yep.
you got that swag about you. Like, you
Mhm.
look good. Like, you're not doing too much. Like, you're not acting desperate. You're not giving off that bad energy. Like, you're just out for a good time. Maybe you're with the boys. Like, like, what's
Yeah,
up?
it's
Like,
how you
but
let's
that's
get
carry
only
Friday.
going to work for a very small percentage of men.
How?
Posture, eye contact is a huge one
Yes.
because most guys that approach us are looking at us
Right.
up and down or straight at our tits. If you can look her in the
Look
eye,
me in the
you
eyeballs.
automatically are like 50% ahead of other
Well,
guys.
sure. And then open your mouth for like 2 seconds instead of just handing the
No
phone
one
number.
said just walk up and be like,
Also, who's got
no,
business-
like nobody's
who's got
fucking talking
business
about
cards
that. Nobody's
anyways?
talking about that.
Who's
Nobody's
got-
talking about
who's
that.
got-
No,
who's got
it's a
paper and
common
pen that
thing.
they're carrying around?
the bartender.
Yeah, if somebody's trying to
Or
pick
you hand
somebody
it to
up, I
I'm
got
sorry.
you.
Like,
But
do
you know,
something original. Do you know how many times we get approached at bars? Do something original. My God.
The main
agree.
issue that I have with that approach is that I don't have the girl's number. You know what I mean?
You,
So if I give her my number, I don't know if she's. It's never happened to me where I've given my number out and a girl has contacted
I would try
me.
because that's the best tell of if a woman really wants to go out with you.
if she's actually interested, she'll
Leave
reach
it.
out.
I would much rather have a man leave it up to me because I'm not giving my number out.
As a man, you have so many different opportunities to build attraction with the woman. If you do it the way that they're saying, then you're only going to be using one thing, which is your looks. And if you're not a generally attractive guy, or if you're just like an average guy, even if you are an attractive guy, that still will work less of the time. Even if you do it in the swagger
Well,
way
clearly
that they're
what
saying.
y'all doing is not working or you wouldn't be here.
Well, it's gonna be at least
You
one
know what I
opportunity.
would
It's
do?
gonna be a better opportunity
This is
than
what
the
I
one that
would
you're
do.
suggesting.
This is how I would pick up a woman.
Isn't this for dating advice? Isn't this for men that need
Yeah.
help?
I'd have
Yes,
my,
and you're telling them to go
So
and
what
give
up?
a
Here's your
card
help.
or a
Hold on,
piece of
hold on.
paper.
Listen up.
That's not helpful.
this is what I would do.
God, it's so helpful. Like, believe.
Yeah, it
like,
works. For,
trust.
I guess it works for one woman who just wants
It
to be
works
with
for me
the
too.
most
Okay.
attractive
Me too.
men.
Would
If
you
I-
find it endearing?
No.
Okay,
Here's
well, it works
what
for 2 out
Yeah,
of 3.
actually,
There you go.
Tori,
Here's
I want
what
to
I
hear
would
your
do.
thoughts on this.
This
if
is
that
what I
happened.
tell all the guys at the bar. It's never failed me. So you're welcome. Okay, you go up to a woman, you're like, she's banging, I want that one. You're like, hey, you dropped something. They're just like, what? And they're looking around, like thinking it's like their phone or whatever it is. And then you're like, your standards, hi, I'm Tori. That's what I would say. And then they laugh immediately and they're like,
And
oh,
then they
this
give you their
guy's
phone number, they run away.
no, you're just like, you ask them stuff about whatever. But having a joke in the beginning, a good one,
Like an icebreaker.
like your standards, like, I don't know. Some people would argue that's whatever. It's
I mean, it's a
called.
little cheesy, but
It's
at
always-
least
I've never-
you're starting
It's gotten some
conversation.
of the hottest women. and
Okay,
the
if you want to do
ugliest
something with
guys.
conversation, if you're like with your boys or whatever, like go over and be like, hey, we're like playing this game. We're trying to figure out the last answer to this question. Like, what is
Yeah.
the like
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
state or
that's
like
a
this
good one,
ocean or
actually.
something? Like we're in a time crunch. They know you're leaving fast.
Yeah.
They know that you and your group of friends are fun. Maybe your whole group of friends will come back with them. Like, and then they'll come find you later.
Yeah,
Did you guys ever
astrology.
figure it out? Like, wait, we found out.
Do you know
Like,
if
wait, we
a
figured it out.
Gemini
We
is
figured out the
more
answer to your
open?
question.
I don't know. That's what I would do.
Like, make it a riddle,
Way-
make it a game.
Way better advice than the first piece.
That was good.
I think it's all about like an icebreaker. Like I feel like
Yeah.
what we were getting at with like bringing the paper, it's like something different. It's not
I just don't like to be bothered.
that
just
too,
move.
but it's not just,
Just
like
move.
it's
I
not
think
just a
that's
guy
the
coming
thing
up
is
to you.
it seems like this is more of your
Personal.
very personal experience. So yeah, I think what you're saying is all true to you, right? But for all women, or for most women, I couldn't see that being.
The
There's
last
also
part.
a
'Cause
lot
you're
of
saying
really
you don't wanna
attractive,
be bothered.
capable men out
Also,
there
that's
who
not
would
how you
find
meet men,
success in that.
That's why you're saying this is because you meet men not like at the bars and stuff, right? You're meeting men through your exes, through friends, through DMs. So that
I mean,
seems to
I've set myself up for success. I'm in sections, like that's all I gotta say.
okay.
I'm not like I'm not in the mix like that.
You're not. When's the last time you went on a date with a guy that you met at a bar?
Thursday.
And he did the number thing?
No, he said, when are you free? He didn't waste my fucking time.
So he came over and said, when are you free?
He texted me, when are you free? And then I called him.
No. How did he get your number?
DM.
I thought we were talking about at the bar. Am I lost here?
We can talk about whatever you
No,
want to talk
when's the
about.
last time you went on a date with a guy
That
you
I met at a bar?
Yeah.
I don't go out. I really don't go out like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Not anymore anyways.
So then you shouldn't be giving advice on how to guys should meet you because you don't do that.
That's a bold statement.
But the
from you.
DM stuff, I could maybe hear some advice on the DM stuff.
You're
But
right,
I think I know what has to happen
Nobody
there.
listens to me. I've never pulled some
I
man in my
actually
life.
think
I've
you-
never helped anybody with
I
dating
think-
ever. So I'm actually trash and just don't listen to me. Listen to him.
Are you okay? I sense the sarcasm. So that advice just doesn't work. That's what I'm saying.
For you, maybe.
For most guys, Ali, talk to me here.
I'm not
you-
saying
can
it's
you
going to work for
imagine-
It
him.
hasn't
He says,
worked
"Have my
for
back."
me. It really.
Well, I'm just saying,
I'm being
like,
honest too. It's not like a guy thing.
Let's hear some more experience from a guy who's out there who's dating.
Just going up and giving a number.
Okay, so role play me. Approach me right now.
See, this
I'm at the
is
bar.
a trap.
I'm at the bar.
I'd be terrified.
I'm at the bar.
I'm already terrified.
doesn't
See, it's like,
You
yeah,
got
it's
Do you
like,
understand?
Yeah.
This doesn't work because you don't meet guys at bars. That's all I'm saying.
But
You're
what if I
giving
did?
advice
I
in this
can.
arena that
Let's go out right now.
you don't
You
even
wanna go to
meet
the bar?
guys at bars.
Let's go meet some. Hit on me right now.
Hey, are you that TikToker? I think I saw.
Done. We're done.
Yeah, of course. Anything he says right now, you're done.
No.
Yes.
He's a great
you
guy.
You just said that.
He's a great guy. You're just not. Okay. Go ahead.
You don't know. He's
You're
a
the
great,
dating coach, so go ahead. Why was that
with
good?
what?
You know what that tells me? That tells me that you know that I play men for a living.
Tell me more about that.
Why?
You just brought it up.
I'm putting it to rest.
Well, you say you play men.
I'm known for putting women on game. I would say.
So what's the game?
There's always a game.
Well, of course, there's always a game. But what's
Give me
your-
a scenario. I don't know. What the fuck is the game? Like, life is a game. Dating is a game. It's all a game.
Okay, so what advice do you give women to hold on to a man?
That's not the advice I'm giving.
Oh, well,
My advice is to not get fucked
You're asking
over.
me to ask you, so you.
I'm not.
You
I'm
tell
not
me.
teaching women how to get married. I'm teaching women how to not get fucked over.
Okay, cool. How do you do that?
Less
I'm
is more. I would say
genuinely
less
curious.
is more.
Mhm.
I would say don't call him 25 times a day. Don't double text him. Don't be up his ass 24/7. I would say be very confident. What do you bring to the table? Like, you can plan stuff once in a while. Like, be exciting, be fun, bring good energy. Don't do too much. Just don't do too much.
I would give the same advice to a guy
Well, now we're on the same page.
So,
now we're cooking.
with this. But what's like the fucked up shit you tell girls to do?
I'm retired from the fucked up shit.
Oh, so you used to.
Probably play the same game that guys play.
What
Which-
made you
which
want to
is what?
change doing the? What made you switch to the type of?
I wouldn't say that I switch. I mean, I still play a role.
Okay.
I'm a very like intelligent, with it, down to earth person in real life. I just like know how to play a character and I do it well.
Okay.
And I know the game very well. And women want to hear it. I'm just not in the game anymore. I don't find it exciting anymore. Like, I'm okay being alone and like
Oh, I
I
see.
know
Okay,
my
yeah.
type, and like when I'm ready to settle down, I'll settle down. I'm just not in the
She's
mood
over
to
the
like
bullshit.
You're quiet. You're quiet now.
yeah, I'm just working.
Yeah.
Like I'm doing my thing.
Yeah.
So doing things for myself,
I love that.
not
Okay.
dating. Not
Story.
really.
What's going to be your? What's going to be the way that you're going to reach your goal of meeting a man? Like, do you
That's a
have?
great
Do you
question.
have a process?
So that's a shitty question.
Why?
It's
What
a
is
great
this, a
question in the sense
thesis?
of I don't know.
What are we gonna write you a thesis? Like, she's gonna go to a supermarket someday and he's gonna be there and he's gonna.
no,
it's-
Allie, that's a
she's gonna
great
be
point.
great.
Yeah, what we should do is whenever we want to try to get and achieve a goal, we should just wait for something to fucking happen.
No, you work on yourself and shit happens in your favor. When you put yourself in those
Okay, so
environments,
that's a
you meet good
strategy. Why don't we
people.
let her answer instead of you?
Because you set her up for failure.
No, wait.
Talk about what's the game
to
plan.
be
Okay.
real. This is not a setting you up kind of question. I'm
Oh,
legit
yeah.
curious. Like,
Yeah. What
what's
was your
your
question
plan?
again?
What is your plan to meet a guy and successfully hold down a guy?
I mean, honestly, now I am in the stage of
That's a real
just-
question.
now, honestly, I am just in the stage of growing and working on myself and like I feel like self-realization, self-growth. And I'm pretty much almost to the point where I'm actually ready to settle down. So I feel like I haven't had the time to date yet. That one date I just talked about is the first date I've been on in literally 2 years. Otherwise, it's been, you want to come over? You want to hang out? You want to go to the club and come home after? That's like the first real date I've been on in 2 years. So I feel like I'm in process to be where I want to be. It's just going to take time because I'm finally in that place.
How are you meeting men right now? Is it online?
No, I don't have any dating apps. I mean, if people DM me on Instagram, if they do it correctly, I'll entertain it. But like we were saying, it's all about approach. But other than that, it's mutual friends, people I meet in person, like at group gatherings. But the club or the bar for me is a no, because in my past experience, they've all wanted one thing and it's never failed that that's what they want. And also that's not the lifestyle that I would want my future person to have. So I just stay away from the bars or people in the bars, I guess.
I have a theory. I think that one of the reasons, this is actually for both men and women, but for now I'm just talking about women. I think one of the reasons why, back to kind of the topic here of why there's so many more single women and men, is because I think the volume is just too low. So I think that, well, first of all, there's been stats that women only swipe right on like 4% of guys on apps. Okay. You flicking me off? No. I'm just kidding. Okay. So
we got it.
I think that the volume is too low and women are not going on enough dates. So they're being very, very selective pre-date. And
I
then,
haven't been asked.
Right. I was just gonna say that.
I haven't been asked.
Are y'all asking?
Yeah, we have.
It's
like,
literally,
totally
do you want to
different-
come over to my house?
Yeah.
It's never been, do you want to grab a drink? Do you want to get a coffee? Do you want to go on a walk? Like even free things, I have not been asked that since the
We wanna
last
go
week,
to
and that was 2
RPM.
years. 2 years of
RPM.
actively dating.
okay. So,
I'm surprised to hear this.
well,
I miss working in nightclubs.
no, I get it.
totally
Why
get
not
it.
go online when you can meet tons of guys there if you're not getting approached in real life?
I was on dating apps for forever until like the past 3-4 years, and I just haven't. I don't know. I have gone on a lot of dates from them, but I just never found what I was looking for. Or it was, for me, it was either someone who was way too serious, like the next day they'd like ask me to be their girlfriend, or it was people who were fuckboys, basically. So I couldn't
How
find
many dates
the good
were
in
you
between.
going on per week?
I guess it wasn't that often. Maybe like, I'd say a couple a month, like 3 to 4 a month, maybe.
That's low. That's kind of what I'm
That's
saying
like your
here.
typical
But that's,
woman.
like, who I
even
could-
a lot.
Yeah,
Like, that's a lot.
She's getting out there.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm like,
And that
I'm
was
lucky
for a
if I go
short
out on
period of
a
I know,
time.
but that's,
run. Like, girls
don't you think that's
don't
the
go out,
Don't
but
you think that's the
guys-
problem?
But guys think
If a
that
guy
women
told me that
have
too, I'd
like
say the same
20
thing.
dudes.
Yeah, but I'm
lined
not
up. It's
gonna
like
just
it's
go out
either
with
one or the
anyone who,
other.
like-
It's less than people
I'm not just
think.
gonna go out with every guy that like favorites me. I'm gonna only go out with the people that I like can relate to
We
what their
have jobs
profile
now.
says.
Yeah, but maybe, but it's in work, so maybe you
We're
should.
just trying to.
Maybe
But
you
if they
should
have
open it up more
survived.
and give it a chance.
But if they have things on, like, let's say I get on a dating app and they have things on their profile that I don't relate to, or they're into rock music, which I don't like, why would I entertain that when I feel like it's not going to work from the jump?
So you think that if you meet a guy and he has all these great qualities, but he likes rock music.
Okay, that was a bad
That was an
example.
example.
That was a bad example, but you
I'm
have
You
just-
knew
to.
I'm
that.
based
You're
on-
not stupid. You knew
Yeah.
that.
No, I am speaking to what you're saying to me right now.
Okay, that was a
No,
poor
it's
example, but
Outrageous.
That was come on. That's what she said, though.
It was
she
an
said I'm-
example.
it was
was
just
a
an
shitty
example.
example,
It
but it was an
was. It
example.
was a shitty
well, then
example.
don't say shitty
It wasn't.
examples. Okay.
Okay, my bad.
Don't take it seriously. Ask her for a better example.
What was
But
the
I'm
political
taking
one?
your
Was
word-
that you that said something?
It
about
was
the
one of my
political-
good friends. Yeah.
What was different? Can you explain that one to us? Because that's like trending. on
Wait, what do you
YouTube.
mean?
A guy that's conservative versus like liberal or something.
Oh,
or
so
a
she
woman.
would-
Doesn't matter.
Like when she was vetting them, like let's say because she was heavy on apps. So she would go on an app, she would match with someone, and that's literally one of the first questions she'd ask, are you liberal or whatever? And if they said the wrong one, she would just be like, never mind, I'm not interested.
What was she looking for? Conservative or liberal? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
I'd be curious.
No,
I
that's.
don't
I think
remember.
that's a legit. That is a solid, legit, non-negotiable to have.
I feel like if
Really?
you're
I
really
think
into
it's-
politics,
Yeah, if you're into
it's not a big
politics.
deal.
for me,
Oh,
I could
yeah.
care less.
You know,
That's
if-
like
if
your
you're
whole
into it.
life. Then
If
yeah.
it's not, then it's. So what I teach guys is to have like 3 non-negotiables. So
Yeah.
3 things that are really important to you.
Give us an
Because if
example.
you have, well, in a sec, if you have more than that, every single non-negotiable and thing that you're looking for, right? This long list shrinks the pool.
Yeah, it's like buying a house. You might not get the infinity pool, but at least you got the nice kitchen. Like pick one or the other.
You got
You
the
know,
pool
like,
in the backyard.
I agree, which is why you should have 3 non-negotiables. That's what I teach guys, at least. I don't coach women.
do you teach them what the non-negotiables should be?
Not specifically, but I help them pick them.
Like,
right?
what are
So
examples of ones you've heard?
Politics could be a good one. Whether or not they want kids is a good one.
That's a good one.
What else? I once had physically fit is one.
Religious beliefs. could
Religious
be one.
beliefs is another one. Really like big ones.
Yeah, those don't really. That's normal.
But if those
Yeah.
fall
I mean,
into
if you're
like,
gonna raise a kid together, you're gonna want to have like.
I feel like if you put that in the standards category, then that's just upping my standards because I feel like those should just be like obvious things.
Right.
I don't think men even vet women. I would say they probably.
You're right.
I
They
think
should.
most
They should do it
don't.
more.
I think they all go for looks first, and that's pretty much it. And
Yeah.
any man who's ever successfully vetted a woman probably doesn't even exist.
I will say, and we're almost at time here. Men should vet more, and women should vet less.
I think women are doing fine.
I don't know.
Ah,
I'm
I think
vetting a
they
lot
are.
and I'm still not
Not
happy.
not
so.
according to what I'm hearing and reading.
I think it's very radical. Some of like the stats that we see.
I think
I'm
men
in the
should close their
space,
eyes
too,
and
you
then
know?
just like listen.
I hear
Like
you.
I'm in the space too, but I work with women. Like I love women. I work large numbers of women, nightclubs, even outside of the nightclubs. I think a lot
And
of
everyone's doing good. Everyone's happy. Everyone's-
yeah. I think
They're
so.
killing it?
I think
Women
women
I'm
women
being
have,
serious.
No, seriously. I think women have a lot of boundaries in place because of that, man. It only takes
Yes.
one dude to fuck it up.
Listen,
Yeah,
a
the
lot of
rest
us
our
would rather
life.
be alone
Yes.
than in the wrong relationship with the wrong person.
Exactly.
Agreed.
If
That's
you
a
don't
great
do
point.
if you can't do more for me, then I can do it for myself.
Right.
Bye.
Out of here.
I think that's a big thing.
I just found some super chats. I found where they were hidden. Okay, let's go through these real quick. Scotty said, "Why do majority of single women in public, not bar club, have the F off sign on their forehead and closed off body language?
Botox.
One approach anxiety."
Facts.
I mean, true.
Duh.
It's like resting bitch face. Like that's just how our face
I
is.
just don't want
Yeah, we
wrinkles.
pay for
Thanks.
muscle paralytics.
Thank you.
You work in a medical spa.
Yeah.
You didn't mention that though.
Because I don't want people to know where I work.
Oh,
Because they're gonna
Well,
come knock on the fucking
oh, you
door
have to
like,
say
hey,
which
Ellie, I
place,
need
I'm
but-
about to come get some Botox though.
They're gonna give
Advice.
their number.
Yeah, I do healthcare administration.
Brian says, "Ask her what." This was from a
Probably
little while
really
ago.
early.
Ask her what her financial standards for a man are, and then tell her what the average male income is. Okay, so we can go around
Yeah,
real quick.
I think we did that. No,
I don't know if we did.
maybe not
Let's do it again. I forgot.
formally.
What are your financial standards for a man? How much does he have to make?
Me,
Shout it out.
I've never looked
Don't have
at-
a number.
I
Yeah, I don't
never
have a
had
number.
ever.
For me, it's about like where like your goals and your progress. Like if you're
I always
working
say
towards something.
70K. 70K. I feel like
To me, it's about can we go to Turks? I'm kidding.
I love
Got
I'm
it.
kidding.
300.
I feel like 70K is a good base, but
Not
as long
kidding.
as you have like a vision, you're working on yourself, like you have goals, and you're not
Yeah.
just like I work this 1 9 to 5 and I'm happy for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
I mean, some people like that, but that's not what I'm looking for.
Yeah, like I'd rather find somebody who's in the same field as me. Like it's less about how much they make, but I get along with people that are in the same thing.
Like doing the same work.
Whether it's YouTube, whether it's media,
Like the
something
creative
that.
space.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, this has been a wonderful conversation. I want to go around real quick and get everyone's just final thoughts. Anything they want to say. Ali, let's start with you.
I feel that one reason that there's this disparity, and I don't know how to put this, but I feel I'm just being realistic. Women are more educated these days. And as a result, with education, what do you have? You have, higher standards. So I think that's just, part and parcel of the whole thing. I'm not
Yeah.
against it. That's great. But that's something that should be
I agree with
expected. Also, with education comes a higher salary, I believe more leverage in a relationship. And as a result, women have a little bit more pushback these days. They can be a little bit more argumentative or state their opinions. Not that that's a bad thing, again, but as a guy, perhaps when you go back to primal instincts, perhaps that's something that most men aren't necessarily too used to, or
You're more than a paycheck. You got this,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah. I think it's one of the things that we tell men, just have like
That
a
was
good
so
job.
inspiring.
Like,
I'm
work
sorry.
hard. It's like be more than a fucking
We should put that on a
paycheck. I don't know.
t-shirt.
Well, a lot of men think
It's,
that
like,
too. They think
sad.
that that we only want them for their money, but
Like
that's
we
not
have
what it
jobs
is.
now. Like
Yeah.
the money, I think, is probably less of a factor than I think a lot of men take into it.
It really is. Personality is way more.
They're fucking the bummy dudes. I promise you. You know.
The scammers.
Yeah, the frauds.
No, I'll agree. If you're a guy and, you know, again, you're not on the one end of the extreme where you're making no money, you have nothing going on, but you are ambitious, you're making a good living, you have a lifestyle that a woman wants to be part of,
Yeah.
then, you know, you'll be able to get there. You'll be able to find a great woman if you're also not too selective, right? Final thoughts from Stori.
I mean, I feel like I've said my piece. I just feel like I don't feel like there's somebody out there for everyone. I have to disagree with Ellie when she says that. But I don't know. I feel like everyone will find their path. Everyone's on a different path. Everybody has different standards. I feel like those standards are there for a specific reason. Like she said, it has to go like your past, your traumas, what you've been through. Those are reasons why standards are there. So I feel like that's why everyone's different in those ways.
I would say you just have to get out there, and it's never that serious, and don't allow your worth to be dependent on rejection.
Yes.
Final thoughts. I don't know. It was fun. Thanks for having me.
Oh, that was very nice. That's very nice.
I could have
I
just
love
said that.
the beef. I love that. That was great.
Yeah, no, this is fun. Yeah, thanks everyone for coming. Thanks everyone
Thank you.
for being honest and real and raw. And I think we handled it quite nicely. Guys, if you're still here, which a lot of you are, hit the like button. We're going live next Monday and Wednesday and Thursday, all the same time, 8 p.m. So come join me. More guests, new guests, or maybe people will come back. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. And new topics. It's going to be great. Thanks for coming. We'll do more lives and we'll see you next time.